team is going to be starting off on that CT side, which usually has a bit of a bias towards, and not as much as on the old Inferno, of course, but you usually would still expect that CT side usually to get about a 9-6 half or so.
Yeah. I feel like it's like one of those. That's really pushing it as well. Sometimes you get 8-7 if the teams are really close-sided, but I almost feel like this map actually favors Spirit quite a bit because this is actually one of the better maps they could have got because Ago, yeah, they are really good. They have a good deep map pool, but this is probably their worst map of the maps that they play. So I think Spirit will be quite confident coming into this one. Also, Cobblestone isn't too bad for Spirit. I mean, Ago obviously would have liked to get Train in there, but that obviously a team that wants to go up against Ago, we're going to try and keep that away from them as much as possible. But I feel like this is going to be a little bit less disorientating for Spirit, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd say in this map I probably would favor Spirit slightly also, but I think in the entire series I'll be expecting AGO to take it at least 2-1. I think even if it does go to that third map, we should see AGO just as the team with the more experience, the team with perhaps you could say the better and younger players. I'd expect them to be able to win this one out. But anyway, we are live into the Vista round now. Over in the CT side, Tao is going to be picking up a defuse kit along with a smoke, and right now the Tower is just working with one flash in the hands of Sotvik, and it looks like they are just going to be attempting to try and pile out of apartments. Lots of presence towards that balcony position. Nice flash goes over towards Shark. Now the Glocks can try and get up close and close the distance. And it's not going to be starting off amazingly. PHR takes one, as does Snatchy, but trades back into a 3-on-3. But actually, we do still see work getting done by Snatchy in the pit. He's able to find another before he eventually falls. Davcost in a 1-on-3 finds the first two headshots. And now it's getting dangerous. Forlin in a 1-on-1, but he has low HP. Find on the player of Davcost, and he is indeed going to be able to clutch that one out, as it is going to be AGO picking up the pistol, and it was looking a little bit close there for a while. Davcost almost bringing it back, but AGO end up taking that one.
Yeah, just going all full like commit towards that A-bomb site. Spirit not really finding any more information. They just kind of straight out of apartments with three players. They go for this A-split. It breaks down as AGO are able to find the headshots, especially Snatchy staying alive in that pit for long enough to find a couple of frags there and be able to pick up at the clutch in the end. It's going to be AGO with the pistol round and now picking up that man advantage. But a bit of a buy coming through by here by Spirit. They're going to try and do as best as possible. The head armor. And of course, the upgraded pistols. Only Davcost will be sacrificing the armor for the mere Deagle.
Yeah, Davcost just making sure that he's able to get that op out in the first gun round, because Inferno on the... Well, it's not really on the T side, something that you do require. You see a lot of teams running the 5-rifle setup as well, because the Inferno kind of can... the op rather on Inferno kind of can get shut down by the amount of utility that can be used to just cut off those choke points. So it seems like Davcost will be going for it. He'll be looking to try and get something done with that once they do get towards that gun round. But for now, Spirit just continuing on with a bit of a default. Presence split out quite heavily, but they have in the process managed to take a lot of map control. They have full control of apartments. They are progressing out towards middle, where no CTs are actually trying to attempt to contest. And it looks like because of this, they may just try and regroup over towards this A-bomb site. Indeed, 3 players are going to be awaiting for them, and it's a pretty solid setup. 2 players in the pit, 1 player on that long corner just watching to try and spot if they attempt to try and wrap onto the bomb site. And he should be seeing a couple of players any moment now, as also one remains uncharted in one of the apartments.
Here comes the split. They're coming in from long. It's Softic to land the first headshot. Snatchy from the pit. This is where he strikes and he finds 2. Goes for the third as well. Nearly shuts the door, but look at this push. The T side are on the bomb site. Spirit have got the bomb plant and the man advantage now as they fall back into the pit. The retakes are coming in. It's Furlan and Tau to try and get in. And Softic, he's already finding one with the Deagle, but it's got 2 kills on the board. He's not going to be able to find that one. Now the retake comes in. Furlan lands the first headshot and decimates Davcost. And now it's pretty much biding their time. They've got the kit on Furlan. Not much utility. So Softic's having a huge performance here. Tries to land up the 4K. Furlan will go down though to Dima. And that will be the round as AGO will lose the second round. Spirit, they'll answer back.
Yeah, that was just great by Spirit. They were handed all the map control and they capitalized on it perfectly. They used those pistols as effectively as possible, wrapping up on long, getting close up to the player so that they wouldn't have to actually take that long-range duel as the players came up short. They instead could just focus on the players in pit, and it just worked out so perfectly. And because of that, Spirit coming straight back into it, getting themselves a solid buy now. And it's going to be AGO that are actually going to be struggling to try and bring themselves back into this one. Only a Mag 7 and 4 pistols to work with.
Yeah, I feel like Snatchy's the mini snacks though, carrying that Swag 7. He's a pretty good player with it in his own right. Furlan gonna get flashed through, takes the first headshot, lands the damage onto the second, not landing the kill though, and it's India 4 versus 4, and that was a perfect flashbang, utilising that to try and put a little bit of pressure towards Banana. Nice Snatchy. Got the Mag 7, gonna be replacing his teammate now as they fall back a little bit more passive towards that B site, and the T's will filter right now, trying to gain some control towards A.
Yeah, and that trade will have favoured Spirit, other than the fact that Davkos lost a lot of HP in the process. But because of that, AGO, their defense is going to be a little bit more thinly spread out. They have two players over towards A, two on the B bomb site, and Spirit can just regroup and hit this together as Forge. Just ensure that they pick up trades, take over the bomb site, and then use that weapon advantage that they have to try and close it out. But of course, you have to really make a decision about where they want to bring this. They still have just about 50 seconds to work with. And as I said, it seems like they may be inching their way slowly back towards the banana position where the bomb is currently located.
We have now a bit of a split still coming out by Spirit. They've got plenty of time to work with. So you can see they're starting to favour that A bomb site. They lost a player towards B, so perhaps the presence towards A is a little bit weaker, and that's probably the thought process going through their head. They have quite a bit of utility left. 4 smokes. One's been used up by Davkos. They will go through short, one inside of the apartment, and things are about to get messy here. PHR, the only player left inside of the pit. Groovy89 making his way through. Gets shut down by Davkos. That will shut the door now on the defense unless PHR from the pit is able to find 2, and he's able to do so. Dima answers back, but this is still on the cards here. AGO might have a chance. Only 9 seconds left on the clock. The bomb will go down though.
Yeah, but this 2 versus 2 retake is going to be so complicated with the weaponry that's actually available to the AGO side. Tao with that Eagle is really going to have to find some amazing opening snatch. He kind of restricted until he can actually close up that range and really get up in the face of his opponents. And at the moment with a smoke down, they can't really get anything done. It's finally beginning to fade. They have the time now to begin pushing in, but without a defuse kit, you have to wonder when they'll just give up. And I think with one player falling, that's going to be the end of it. Coldy is able to close it out onto Tao, and it's going to be actually 2 rounds in a row for Spirit. They're able to capitalize on that one, and this should be a full eco now coming in by the Polish side. AGO, I don't even know if they'll be upgrading really any pistols other than maybe a P250 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you could really do at this point. You're probably just best to save, let Spirit get up to that 3 rounds. And they've actually surprised me a little bit here. Spirit coming out confident out of the gate. They've got the 3 Mac 10s, so they can start to build up that economy much more. And you can see this is their pressure towards banana you want to be having. You just throw the nades on over the top. The Mac 10s go in and try and find all the close angles. And there we go. That's a free kill. Tao gets caught with his pants down. Now that's going to be the opening kill for Spirit as they try and impact onto that B bomb site. And the retakes, it's virtually impossible. So it's going to be a round here for Spirit most likely.
Yeah, unlikely anything else is going to get done by AGO other than maybe a kill or 2 out of this if they're able to maybe drop one of these weapons. But I think with Spirit, with these Mac 10s, they're likely going to try and hunt this down quite actively. And without Kevlar, these Mac 10s shouldn't really have any sort of trouble actually tearing straight through their opponents. As you can see, Sumda Young able to get the first Coldy from behind, and a nice little spray down comes in as he takes himself a hat-trick. And that is going to be Spirit able to get themselves those 3 rounds in a row. And now the boy will finally be coming out for the CT side. Let's see what's going to be done when both teams are going to be working with the full investments. But then again, Spirit looking like they may be hanging on to a lot of these Mac 10s, which I guess is a pretty good idea. They know that there's, after the force spike coming in by AGO on that round after they lost, that they'll likely not really have too many players with head armor, because the utility on this map is so important to actually hold off those choke points.
Yeah, that is... It's not really necessary to buy head armor, but when you're going up against 3 Mac 10s, it does become a little bit more expensive. As Spirit, interestingly enough, are going to go for this bonus round, and this could actually work out due to that lack of head armor. These Mac 10s can be a bit of a cash grinder, although a lot of pressure again being put towards A. Spirit have been avoiding that B bomb site, and it's going to be a smoke execute coming in. 1 for the pit, 1 for the long position, and Snatchy, he's unable to find anything. SDY finds the first. PHR will trade, but it's Coldy. He's having such a huge performance. He's able to dispense with 2 players, and now gets that bomb down into the site, and that is pretty much AGO should just save these weapons, I would say, Dean.
Oh yeah, definitely should be just saving. And I think the problem for AGO right there in that round was because of not having the head armor, they didn't want to close the distance too much. They knew that there was still a high possibility of Mac 10s being carried over, and just sitting so passive back on the side allowed Spirit to really just get up towards the bomb site before they were even spotted, and a nice couple of flashes came in. They blinded up everyone, and they were able to just win out in the trades. And as you can see now, it's just Tao and Furlan trying to carry these weapons over into the following round, but not going to be easy. At least 1 kill does come in by Tao. His position will now be known, and Furlan just at the moment hiding back towards the library, and it doesn't seem like anyone's going to be exiting towards this position, so I don't know if he's going to get much done unless he actually decides to face really aggressively like this. And that's a really nice peek by Furlan. Really nice game sense to actually cause a bit of damage in that round. Even if they lose it, at least only 2 players do survive for the Spirit side, so some reinvestments do have to come in now in this round.
Yeah, the scoreline's starting to get a little bit scary if you're AGO right now. You really need Furlan and Snatchy to start stepping up, finding the multiple spray downs. Snatchy went down without a single kill towards that A bomb site, and that can't be happening. So we have to see Snatchy start to step up a little bit more. And Spirit, their stars are all showing up. Coldy's finding multiple kills every round. So this is exactly what Spirit need. Just their stars to turn up to the server, and the stars in AGO just to be completely out of it. So Snatchy, this is his chance to find a couple of kills. He's inside of the dark position. There's 2 players making their way through. He peeks out, gets 2, and the bomb knife falling swiftly to his feet will finally go down. But it's multiple kills coming through by Spirit. India 3 versus 1.
Yeah, and there's still certainly a chance right now for AGO to manage to pull this off. Furlan with the M4 will be the player we look towards mostly to try and get the heavy lifting done. But then again, Tao with a Deagle, we know what damage he can cause, and he is indeed shown us right now as he does manage to decapitate Davkos, who was getting a little bit too adventurous there towards the mid position. Peeking out wasn't really needed when they already have that man advantage, and because of that, his life will be taken away. Furlan now in a nice position from the graveyard spot, so the head of Cold, he finds it. Another player on short, he will get traded though. That leaves us in a one-on-one as Sundai Young now should be able to get the bomb plant and get himself into a solid after plant before we do see Tao managing to position himself, and there we go. A smoke goes down, that's going to delay some time. No defuse kit, of course, for Tao to work with. Sundai Young playing this really smart, getting up close to the smoke, just going to be kind of pretending it's a wall, putting his back to it and trying to give himself some form of safety so that he can focus on short for the moment. But as the smoke starts to fade, it could get dangerous, but Tao doesn't expect it. That's exactly what SDY was hoping for. He was hoping there that the player would push straight up to the smoke, unexpected of that he was just lurking on the other side of it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good play from Sundai Young, because when you're coming through that smoke, right, you generally just look towards the pit or the sites. You never really think to look at that little moped. So it's actually really intelligent for him to stay on the edge of the smoke, because he knows that player's going to come through the smoke and not really expect him to be there. And that is exactly what happens. Tao rolls out of the smoke and gets himself shut down for not checking his back. And that will be the round for Spirit now, up 5-1. But we do have a buy coming through by Ago now. They've got the double up setup. Tao and Snatchy going to carry them on board. And this is where a bit of damage can be dealt. If you're down a lot of rounds, these double up setups can be used as to shift up that defense and maybe have a little bit of an impact here.
Yeah, right now Spirit just mostly sticking into a fairly standard default at least at the beginning of the round. Right now it seems like they're going to be sending the majority of their presence back over towards Banana, and right now Tao with the up is going to have some support. Also, he has Furlan just ready in that corner. He has a flash prepared. He has a Molotov also to try and delay this push, and it looks like Spirit do indeed want to commit to this B-bomb site. Just trying to test the waters. They've yet to really go towards this side of the map, and it starts off pretty well. Demon's going to be able to find that opening headshot. Tao trades it, but he won't be able to remain alive as he just backs around that corner. The final bullet from Dima's mag is going to be able to connect towards him, and now it's a 4-on-3. Although the HP not amazing on the Spirit side, AGO still with a chance of this retake, but even towards the B-bomb site, a 3-on-4 retake can be very difficult. Just so many different angles for you to check as you come in towards that site and to actually try and clear it correctly.
Yeah, B is one of the harder sites to retake, especially if you're coming in from the same angle. So it's likely they'll just be trying to back off now and save their weapons, as if they go down here, all of them, they're gone out of this. It's going to be 6-1 for Spirit. And this is starting to look really bad for AGO right now. They aren't trading, they aren't finding the opening kills. It's all Spirit just finding multiple kills here and there. Tao was able to trade, but it was instantly recuperated. And Spirit, they're looking really strong right now, really good. Just heading towards a singular bomb site with a lot of aggression, nothing too fancy. They've been doing execute right off the bat as well, which is interesting to see. And perhaps this change in pace that AGO just aren't used to. And maybe they need to start settling down and starting to try and get a read of Spirit's attack here.
Yeah, I like that approach by Spirit, though. I would say coming into this match, they are the underdog. They're just playing their game, showing confidence, and so far it's really working out for them. I guess you could say 6-1 up on the T side of Inferno. That is definitely a good performance so far, and still a lot of room to improve that even further. But AGO into this round, they did manage to save 3 weapons, and around that they will be able to also invest into some pistols and some Kevlar into those 2 players who did actually get taken down in the previous one, and with plenty of money bonus coming in the following $3,400, they won't really be struggling for a buy. So a good chance in this round to actually try and get themselves around onto the board, or at least cause quite a lot of damage to the economy of Spirit, and I'll be interested now to see if that does happen. Snatchy towards middle with the AWP. He's going to throw the Molotov down just in time, but over towards the balcony. Deem is able to find that opening kill successfully, but traded back by the op. That little angle is used perfectly, and Tao on the flank running straight down Banana. He eventually finds that kill onto Davkos, although it is at the cost of all the bullets in his mag, so he is going to have to retreat for the moment. And while that's happening, all the kills going back in favour of Spirit, and it should be Sotfik to close this round out, and there it is, 7-1 in favour of the Russian side. Spirit with a great performance so far.
Yeah, that flank from Tao could have been extremely awkward. He missed so many shots, but finally at the last second lands that headshot. But it's mostly just devastation here. Spirit just coming out of the gate feeling, well, we got nothing to lose right now. We're definitely the underdogs. AGO, they have it all to lose here. They're the team that really want to get that spot at IEM in front of their home crowd. So the pressure's definitely on for them. It's off for Spirit. And right now we can actually start to see that the AGO team look a little bit disorientated. It's perhaps a few moments we'll maybe see them start to get a little bit more comfortable in their positions. And like I said before this game even started, Inferno generally is an AGO's more favorite map out of the maps they play. I think they've got like a 51% win rate, which is still positive, but it's definitely the lowest of the maps they play, should I say.
Yeah, it's definitely not their best map. I believe this was the choice of Spirit indeed. And oh my god, PHR, what a shot that was. A little pre-fire comes in. He takes down the first player, that is Dima, and also Furlan going to be able to chime in on towards Davcost. So finally some map control is going to be taken back by AGO. So far we've seen a very passive setup. This time 3 players looking to try and contest Banana, and it goes successful as they managed to take down the first 2 without actually losing any sort of HP at all. Snatchy towards middle will be the next to take some contact, spots out the barrel, and he uses that perfectly to just wait for the repeat, takes down Sumda Young, and now it's only Caldy and Sotfik rather that remain. So looking like AGO should be able to finally get themselves another round onto the board.
Yeah, this is the AGO we want to see turn up. The aggression, they find the opening kill, and straight away Furlan's in there, getting the kill, denying the trade. And then that just rubs some salt in the wound. And you see they pressure to go towards that A bomb site after the kills go down towards B. And there, Snatch, you'll have a bit of a field day. And Tao to pick up 2 beautiful headshots. That'll secure AGO's round. And now 7-2. Things are starting to look a little bit up for AGO. Perhaps this is the round that they needed to get going here in this game.
Yeah, finally a couple of their players stepping up. That's what we've been missing so far in this game. You have to say in those other rounds they were kind of just rolled over. Clearly Spirit were hitting their shots while AGO weren't. But there we go, a couple of players stepping it up, having a bit of a team effort there to finally take another round for themselves. But trying to chain them together now is what's really important. Of course, a bit of economy left in the bank. They won't be forced onto an eco, I don't believe, in the next if they lose this one. But still, with the current scoreline, they need to start building themselves up more rounds. And at the moment, Spirit seems like they will be finally slowing down the pace a small amount. 2 players focused on the apartment, 3 on Banana, and it's going to be Sumda Young who finds that opening kill onto Groovy, who is actually yet to get himself a kill onto the scoreboard.
Yeah, Groovy, a little bit of pointless aggression comes through, gets himself dropped for, of course. It's just back and forth they go. Demi and Davcost landing 2 shots. Man advantages in favour of Spirit, and this is not exactly how the round should have went here, AGO. And they are just going to get caught out again. PHR walks right in front of Davcost. And Team Spirit, they're just sitting back. They're just waiting for AGO to walk right into their crosshairs. And so far, they've been giving them the kills they desire. And AGO now on the back foot. Only Snatchy left. And that is going to be a round that breaks their economy. And Spirit, they're going to be looking to secure another round here. 8-2. That's unbelievable for Inferno on T's side, Dean. They've already won the half.
Yeah, Spirit in a really good position now to take this first map for themselves and get off to a great start in this best of 3 series, of course. But I presume AGL will probably be buying into this following round. Snatchy with the AWP being able to save that over means that there is 3 players who just about have enough to buy. It will be very little utility, and Tao is going to be the one that's in a double eco, so he'll be likely also purchasing up what he can. And over towards A, now the bomb will be going down. Snatchy just waiting on B. Once that bomb goes down, I presume he's just going to stick around here on the B bomb site, ensure that he carries this up over, because it'll be very important to actually give them a pretty solid buy in this following round to give them a chance to try and get their round back. But it's not looking great right now. Spirit just instantly resetting their economy is not what they would have wanted when they finally got around onto the board.
Exactly. And you got to be looking to Groovy to step up, right? He hasn't found a kill so far, so we need to see him start to answer a little bit. AGO, they need all 5 players to start firing off. Spirit, they're up to 8. This is going to be a huge confidence boost, especially coming into this first map. It is their pick, so obviously you'd expect it to go this way. AGO, however, should just keep that good mental fortitude as we move into the next maps. Cobblestone is a much better map for them. And I would say it's not a bad map for Spirit by any means either, so it could be a very competitive one. AGO, it definitely needs to start answering back into this half because, I mean, their T sides are very good. Their CT sides need to get rounds here on the CT side. It's a CT side map after all, although may be slightly compared to the other Inferno, but it's definitely, you still need to post some rounds up on your CT side here. And as you said, there is a buy coming through to decide and go for the pistols. I would say this is a good decision, considering they can save up into the next round, have a very good one with the utility. So they are just going to save a little bit of cash, buy up some armor CZs around that AWP, and try and find some damage.
Yeah, I like the idea, but this is gambling that they will actually be able to get themselves likely up towards that 6, which for their own sake I hope they can do. A 6-9.5 wouldn't be too bad of a half, especially with how this one started, but not a great start. Snatchy and Boiler with that AWP is going to get naded down to 71 HP. Not too substantial, but still, you don't want your player with the only weapon actually taking that damage early on, not really being in a position where you can continue going for those aggressive peaks. But right now, they're taking this carefully. They know that they're up against at least one weapon, and it could be still a force buy. I don't think they're 100% sure yet. I don't think anything has really been shown by AGO, so they have to be very cautious. And right now, they're doing so, taking Banana slowly, using that utility well to clear the corners, and doing similar over towards the A apartments.
Spirit have been just going for this 3-2 split. They've been putting one guy towards middle, two towards banana. It's very standard default. It's probably the most standard default on Inferno, I believe. So you put two players towards the apartments position. You really want to challenge towards banana early on. If you get control of that, then the players towards A start to filter in. And you can see that's exactly what's been going on. Spirit have decided they want to go towards this A bomb site. They've put some utility down there already. The bomb is over to that side of the map, so the rotates are coming through. They've got two lurkers towards B. So this is a bit of a weird setup here because AGO have a good read of it. They're just going to keep two guys on B. They're not going to fully rotate just yet. Of course, they only have the pistols to lose, so they can start to gamble a little bit more. And coming through, it's going to be Dima finding the opening. Gets dropped by Snatchy, who, with the only weapon, is able to find a shot. And there goes Groovy. Finally, he gets the scoreboard, but he's going to get shut down. Coldy and some Die Young are finally going to get that A bomb site, and the bomb will go down. India 2 versus 2 now, and the rotates are coming in.
Yeah, and this is still a winnable situation right now for AGO, but as I say that, Dalfcost finds a very crucial frag by taking down Snatchy over towards long. He was sandwiched in between the player on middle also, so he needed to commit to one of those fights, and he chose the correct one. Brings himself to safety, and now it's all onto Tao as he looks to try and retake this. He's been playing well, but it may be just too much to ask of him, as both of these players right now just tying with him, just peeking slowly, and he's stuck swinging back and forth with his mouse trying to find either of those kills, and with the time running down, it was basically impossible, and there you have it. Spirit are going to be able to get themselves up 9-2. AGO, this looks like it will be their buy coming in, but it's not going to be perfect, it doesn't seem. They have one player already only on a CZ, that is Tao, and at least the other players are going to be able to all get M4s and a decent amount of utility, but they are lacking those Molotovs, those Molotovs that actually try and delay the pushes when they come in early or late round, and with the high pace of Spirit so far, that could be quite dangerous.
Yeah, Spirit, again, showing some aggression towards Banana. They're going to throw a Molotov in there. Tao has to fall into it as well, so gets dropped down to 58 HP. And now the pressure's building up towards Banana. We've got three players there, and there's the kill coming through. Dima drops one. Pietro is able to answer back, and Tao from the coffins taps away with the CZ. So man advantage intact for AGO, but they have to hold on to this one. There goes Tao, picking up an M4, so they all have rifles to work with, and this makes that just a little bit more winnable.
Yeah, and with the damage done, I think Spirit are still in a really good position right now, especially at how well they have been playing. Looks like they are going to be maybe favouring over towards the A-bomb site. But as I say that, actually, we are going to see one player backing off, going to be regrouping with the bomb and making their way slowly up Banana. And I think that may be the correct decision. We saw a bit of a gamble early on coming in there, but the CT side, they had a third player towards A, and right now he's just chilling around on that speedway, just making sure that once some contact is taken, he can actually rotate fast to help either site. And it's just going to be Tao now on the B-bomb site to try and hold this down. And with half HP, this could get dangerous, especially if he peeks out right now. And as you see, Coldy indeed picking up that opening headshot, is going to be able to drop that first player, give them the opening, and Davkosh through the smoke. What is that? He flicks straight in. The tracers of PHR are going to be giving away his position, and he gets absolutely decimated by Davkost, as now it's just going to be Snatchy and Groovy trying to come in from the CT spawn. Both of these players working together. There is a defuse kit, but no utility for them to work with at the moment. They will be looking to try and creep their way in through the construction route, making their way over towards the Kyles, or as most people now would call it, coffins. And Snatchy, he's holding the angle, spotted the first player, does some damage to SDY, and still no real peaks being given, just that small amount of damage. Eventually Snatchy finds one, the op of Davkost, up close, finds both kills. What a round by Davkost. He comes up massive, and he's going to be able to confirm that Spirit are able to win this half at least 10-5, and it's looking likely that they'll be able to increase that even further, as the buy of AGO is going to be extremely weak into this one.
Of course, that shot through the smoke was unbelievable. And then he does that. He picks up two close shots. That's going to be 10-2. Spirit are storming ahead here. AGO, I definitely put them as my favourites, but right now they're looking anything but. They're on the back foot. And Spirit, they're looking so strong right now. Look at their economy. It's so built up. And I don't think AGO have had a full buy in about 4 or 5 rounds in a row now. So things are looking desperate for them right now. And there goes Dima. Another open headshot for Spirit. And you can see Snatchy had a bit of confidence. He wanted to go for a bit of aggression. But with his teammate falling, he has to fall back now and play more passive. Davkost finds another shot. Tao hopping through the smoke. And Furlan will throw that smoke down. He's too scared to go right through there. He knows it's a death trap walking into Davkost in this form. So he's going to make sure that he holds Banana, and now Snatchy's got himself a friend to work with towards A apartments. It doesn't matter, he's gone, he's disposed with, and Fake will hit that shot. Now, what's the option for AJ? I don't think there is any. It's just Snatchy has to frag out here.
Yeah, and all I can say is I can see why Spirit chose this map. Clearly looking very prepared and confident on it. They're hitting their shots, they're playing really well as a team. Great trades all the time, there's never a chance. Oh, SDY. Oh my god, he still gets that kill. That's just that's just the testament to how this game has been going so far. There's no look at all for the AGO players. Even when they have the side of an opponent just completely given to them, they aren't able to find the frag, and just somehow SDY spins back and finds a headshot. So now it's all on the Furlan UMP. He's soloing over towards Banana at the moment, spotted out by the AWP, and because of that, we will see Spirit just instantly commit to the A-bomb site. The bomb will get planted any moment now, rather, and Davkos doesn't even need to wait for it. He finds that final kill, and all 5 players remain alive as the economy of Spirit continues to grow, and it's looking amazing. They won't be struggling at all. They'll be buying for the remainder of this half. And on the other hand, AGO, look how low their economy is. Multiple players in the 1,000, the high 1,000s range, rather.
Yeah. Spirit, I've just been sitting back. They haven't really went for any aggression. You can see they don't even need to plant the bomb to win the round. AGO have just been going with aggression constantly towards them. They've been walking right into the trap towards A, and they have a perfect setup to deal with that aggression. Ooh. And there goes an aggressive shot. Tao opening things up. Cracks Dav's skull off his head. So that's the AWP out of the hands of Spirit. And now that's going to be a weapon you don't want to be losing. But they've still got the 4 players with the AKs, and this should be enough to close this one out, unless AGO have some wonderful deagles coming through here.
Yeah, I guess you could say the deagle was just too much for Davkos to handle, and that was maybe the cheesiest thing I've ever said, but we're going to go with it. As, no. That's exactly what AGO needed. The Poles finally find that opening kill. They're able to take down 1 player, but still with the weapons heavily in favour of Spirit, it's going to be quite difficult for AGO to actually capitalise on this opening frag, and let's see if they're going to be able to do so. These pistols up close maybe could take another couple of kills fast, do some quick damage, retrieve more weapons, and give them something to actually work with, because sadly that weapon that was dropped out of the hands of Davkos is not retrievable. But here we go right now, some presence being shown towards B. They're working in just groups of 2 at the moment. 2 little death squads looking to try and go out and open up either of these bomb sites. And oh, that's a great shot by Dima. He finds that opening that they require over towards B. Absolutely destroys Tao. I think they're just going to back off of that, or actually maybe just fake the back off. We see some steps were made by Dima. He instantly makes his way back to hold his position, and it looks like they will indeed be making their way towards this B bomb site. But aggression towards A could get something done by Snatchy. Has the P250. He's going to be pushing up through the apartments, but he may be too late, as now we see all 4 terrorists grouped up on this banana position, rather. At least 2 players are already awaiting for them with these deagles. We see 1 player up on top of the second oranges. I believe he's actually using a 5-7, and Dima, he spots him out. He is going to be able to close him down as he goes for the repeat. Furlan drops, and it is going to be PHR stuck in behind that smoke, looking to try and deny the bomb plant. It won't work out. Snatchy last man standing. As I said, that flank just a little bit too late, and as he tries to retrieve a weapon, he will be shut down.
Yeah, I mean, they went down, obviously Tao finding that opening deagle shot, but their style, they just went back towards B, tried to find out, even out the odds. They did so. They put 2 players towards A, 2 players towards B, and they tried to find that trade frag to pull it back into a 4 versus 4, and then use their numbers and weaponry advantage to get onto that bomb site, and that's where they went. They went towards B, and that is where they will find themselves an easy round. 12-2 now. And AGO, this is desperate. They've got another double up setup here, so finally they've got a buy round, but there's not too much utility around that. Furlan has nothing to work with into this round, so things definitely still looking in favour of Spirit utility-wise. But if these double up setups can work out, you can see a bit of aggression coming through by Snatchy inside of the apartments here. Oh my goodness, nearly. If he decides to shoot, he would have hit Sundown Young there, but has slowed down a little bit now. On the T side, they're coming back towards A, and this is where they will likely begin their attack. Nachi waiting again. The player will double peek him. This is going to make the op difficult to play with. Still hits the shot. Goldie lands the headshot in reply, though. They still have another op. Will they expect this, though? Furlan is the man carrying the AWP this time. It was Tao, I believe, into the previous, and that didn't exactly work out. So onto the A-bomb site they go. PHR from the pit. Lands the first. Goes for the second. Will shut the door on Dima. And now Tao is there. He's going to shut down the last 2. And AGO will get the last round of the half. 12-3. And that is a very good half from Spirit.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if Spirit are maybe on like a boot camp or something, and they just have a bunch of cheerleaders behind them, because they're definitely showing some spirit in this match, rolling over AGO. The Poles really don't have any sort of chance at the moment. They've just been getting decimated no matter where the terrorists actually go. I would say maybe they were abusing Grubby a little bit, but it didn't seem like they really needed it. They were having success everywhere on the map, even with Tao and Snatchy actually picking up a decent amount of kills. Just wasn't enough to get them more than 3 rounds, and look how spread out they were. The first round, I believe that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got the 1st, the 9th, and the 15th round. So yeah, they were very spread out. No chance at all of them actually chaining anything together and getting their economy just instantly reset every time they got something.
Yeah, and every round as well that they had a chance to start to build that economy, they force bought in the hope that they could win the next, and it just never worked out. They just kept getting shut down by Spirit's setups. They had so many different setups, which you can just tell that this is their best map, because they had so many different defaults, so many ways of dealing with aggression, so many different styles. They just absolutely destroyed AGO on this T side. Could we see it perhaps drop off on that CT side? who knows, AGO, if they have a good pistol around here, they could start to come back just off raw skill. But Spirit are looking very good right now. Demo on 15 and 8. Some Da Young 14 and 7. The new addition to the team is doing quite well himself. And Coldy had a very good performance at the start of the map. They start to drop off a little bit towards the end of the half, but things are definitely looking good for Spirit now. Only 4 rounds away from taking map number 1. But AGO, you never know. It's not over until it's over. I think we've seen it in the major so far that 12-3 has been that sort of scoreline where the comeback starts. So perhaps that could follow on here in Farmskins.
I just want to say I really liked something you said there. You said AGO, you never know. And judging from my experience of casting them in the past years, never know which AGO is going to show up. I think that would be a really good slogan for them to go with. AGO, you never know.
Yeah, you know, just use us as their media.
Yeah.
we want a contract.
I gotta throw that out to the if you use that on your social media, make sure to pay us some royalties. We'll take €10 per tweet each, I guess, that they use that slogan in. Yeah, that seems fair. But anyway, we are going to be going on into the second half now, and let's see what AGO are going to be able to get done. Will they be able to bring this back is the question, but a long road ahead, a difficult task for them to try and overcome, I would say, and winning this pistol is extremely crucial, as right now Spirit are going to be going into this looking to just try and close this one out instantly and start this series off 1-0. Some utility though, purchased up by Tao over on the AGO side. No defuse kit, interestingly enough, for Spirit at the moment. Just opting to maybe try and hit their shots in this round instead, take the fights, try and go for a brute force approach, as right now AGO grouping up over towards the apartments mostly with the majority of their presence.
Yeah, splitting up with the Glocks is sometimes a good decision, but most of the time I would just like to go and just try and brainstorm a site, because the Glocks definitely aren't the best weapon at long range, but it seems as though this A hit is coming through. And Some Da Young's in a good position here. He has 2 players to help him. There we go. He'll take the first headshot. Tao now dropped, but this is perfect. PHR is in a good position. Does he get shut down early on? No. Nope, he grabs one, but he gets taken down by Softic. But that A bomb site's been taken. Man advantage still intact for Spirit, and now the retake has to come in. Softic, with his squad behind him, are going to come through. They've got the nade still intact on Softic, so that can be used to mass effect, and now they will come through. And they're just clearing every angle together. Going together makes it difficult to find a double kill. There goes Furlan, finding the opening. Goes for the second. Spit and try, but has Groovy up on top of the graveyard, taking down 2. And that is going to be an absolute annihilation. AGO, they'll take the pistol, and that sets up the comeback trail.
Yeah, but the question is, can they withstand the pistols? AGO, you never know. I'm going to go ahead and coin that term. I'm going to keep going with it, because you never know if they're going to be able to, especially with how great Spirit have been playing so far in this game. They are going to, seems like, fully invest into this one other than Dab's cost. He is that dedicated upper. He wants to make sure that he can afford the AWP when he wants to get that out in the first gun round. And I believe Coldy also saved quite a lot of money, so double off maybe something they could be going for. Over towards Banana at the moment, there is going to be a Deagle looking to try and face Dima. He can't actually peek towards the car like he may have been looking to do so. That Molotov is going to delay him for the moment, and Ruby on mid with the AK trying to take this long range battle up against the pistol should be successful, but it's actually Furlan instead over towards Banana. He managed to get some revenge for Tao, who got dinked down to 20 HP and take down that opponent for damaging one of his teammates. He wasn't happy about that at all, and now it's actually going to be just 4 players remaining for Spirit, and with a heavy firepower disadvantage, this is going to be very difficult.
5 players in already. Snatchy is going to be that entry force with the MP7, and I don't know why he's using this. This is a terrible gun. No one ever uses this gun. Anyway, he's going to use it, and there we go. It's not going to do anything. He gets shut down by Coldy. Groovy, though, is going to be spraying through CT, grabs the kill, and now it's just annihilation after annihilation. AGO onto the bomb site, and it's going to be a 2-man advantage, and PHR just being extra careful here. Coldy is in there, but Tal's watching the angle. There's the Mac 10 kill. That's a better SMG, and it will be now their 5th round of the board here, and things are looking really good in the second half for AGO so far. I mean, Spirit, this is going to be their buy round, likely to come up next. So, AGO, looking good.
Yeah, they will be just working with one more round on the pistols at least, so we should see AGO taking themselves up to 6 rounds at least before they're finally contested by actual rifles and the ops and all that utility, etc. So should be another easy round coming in the following. Some Da Young maybe just trying to save this dig or take a couple of kills in the process, and he's not going to be able to do so. We see Tao coming in with that Mac 10, just clotheslines him down, showing him that maybe he was an amateur wrestler back in his early days. Just drops him instantly, no chance. The reactions just weren't even in place, I don't believe, with that Eagle. Had no chance at all to take that shot, but there we go. It is going to be another round on the board for AGO, 5-12, and we should see them increasing that by 1 more at least before we see Spirit being able to actually try and contest.
Do you have much experience with amateur wrestling, Dean?
No, not at all.
Me neither. I wouldn't really want to, you know, go around sweaty guys. I'm more about the digital games nowadays. I did a little bit of sports, but now it's just kind of, I got too sweaty for that. So if I did some real exercise now, I'd likely just collapse and die, I think, at this point. Because, I don't know, it's just been the winter, the good food, and I've enjoyed the casting too much now, so exercise is definitely out the window. But, hey, Joe, they're back on board with the AWP, the Mac-10, and the 3 AK-47s. On the Spirit side, they've got 1 SMG, 3 M4s, and an AWP to work with as well. A little bit of utility here and there, so likely still favouring AGO into this round.
Yeah, I would say so. Looking pretty good for AGO. Half cost, especially on that glass cannon, will get mowed down by the Mac-10. We do see a bit of a problem there also, as we see Dima getting tagged on a small amount by his teammates. Not too big of a deal, I guess, but now that Mac-10 could also get a one-shot headshot on towards Dima, so I guess it gives them a bit of a better chance once again for AGO. So still only half the scoreline of their opponents, but they're looking to try and reduce that deficit even further, as right now they group up towards middle. The majority of their players at least looking like they will be trying to advance towards the brackets and get themselves that map control to work with. Force the CT players back on towards the bomb site, so they have to play passive and maybe try and aggress on B instead to get info. And as you see, they leave Snatchy with the op. He spots out a finger, I believe, right there, and because of that he's aware there's a player jump peek in this spot. I'm not sure if he was spotted out himself, but he's going to continue on holding this, waiting to see if he can try and find that opening kill. As finally the terrorists do begin to advance on towards brackets, get themselves that control.
Softic is backing up that AWP with some rifle support. He's going to walk through. Groovy not expecting it. He doesn't have any support at all. And he's going to get dropped down now, and this will trigger the attack from AGO. 30 seconds left. They have no other option but to commit to this A-bomb site. And Some Da Young, he's going to be playing on the edge of the smoke now as the players will come through. They could... Oh, what is this? They're going through long. Coldie's going to spot out them crossing over the archway. Look at that. Snatchy hits a beautiful shot with the AWP. 3 versus 4. And Furlan, there we go. That's the entry. Swings round for the first. Nearly gets the second, but it's PHR's job to take him down, leaving only Dima. And I don't think he's going to be able to get much done. 3 players left, and he's got to find it with 1 smoke. And he has a defused kit. Snatchy's watching the angle. Misses the shot, though. Oh, thank God, Snatchy. He picks up the second shot, and that'll be the kill. 6 rounds for AGO. Oh, 7 rounds for AGO. They're over halfway there now, Dean.
Yeah, much better performance on this T side by AGO at the moment, and Spirit once again forced back onto an eco, so we should be seeing that gap now reduced to 4 rounds unless some great plays are pulled off by Spirit with just these pistols and a couple of upgraded sets of Kevlar. So actually a bit of utility also been invested in. I like that the nades could be thrown down maybe banana, maybe down mid, and there's so far been a pretty aggressive pace, I guess, coming in by AGO, at least kind of early round, to try and get that map control. And there we go, a nice placement of the nade, but it actually doesn't do any damage. I believe it went in towards that tree position instead. Apologies, I have to make sure that I pronounce 3 correctly and 3, because as an Irish person I struggle with the pronunciation of those words. The THs do not come to me as easily as they may to some others, but here we go. Now AGO finally advancing now towards middle once again. Looks like they are going to be continuing on with a pretty standard default, leaving one player extremely passive actually back towards T-spawn down on second mid. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, Snatchy. There we go. That's the close shot. He's going to take Softic, annihilate him, and drop him from the server. As we 1 minute left on the clock. It's mostly AGO show here. They're going to be trying to take down these pistols. Spirit have a very large presence towards the B bomb site, and the bomb, at the most part, is looking towards A, but it's going to start to fall back towards B, and that's where 2 players remain, and there's the rotate over towards the A bomb site now, and this could be a bit of pressure coming through by Coldie. It could be a one-and-done situation. Flash comes through. It's a good one. Lines up one, nearly the second, and this is becoming very awkward. Groovy, can he shut him down? And there he goes, finally. Groovy shuts him down, and the rotate's coming in from A, and there's only 1 player left on this B bomb site. Tao, he's hungry, and they're looking to take this bomb site.
Oh, Sotfix, Coldie rather, so wishes he had a rifle in that position. Demon's still getting some damage done though from the quad box. He is going to be able to find 1 headshot at least before falling to Snatchy. But with a 2-on-3 retake with no real weapons to work with on this B-bomb site, I think it's very unlikely that Spirit will get too much more done, other than maybe a frag or 2. And Some Da Young is definitely trying to put up some sort of a fight. He is able to find that first headshot, double peak coming in at the moment, but PHR takes a lot of damage. And this is actually getting really dangerous now. Body armor to work with for Some Da Young, and he spots out the first player. Bit of damage connected. He finishes off Snatchy, and PHR now 18 HP left in a 1-on-1. Some Da Young going to be repositioning. The steps will be here. PHR playing up close to that pillar over to the right. Will he check this position, or will the rifle claim victory? And it will indeed. It is going to be another round for AGO, but a lot closer than you would have expected. 8-12 now, as it's only 4 rounds in the difference.
I was definitely not expecting him to get that player on the right. More so the guy maybe towards the back of the site who had low HP, but That player on the right was definitely not a player I was expecting him to take down, so that was a valiant effort. Nearly picks up a 4K with only a P250 and no other investments. So that is a very devastating round to lose. However, they will have the buy now, and it's a much stronger one. They've got utility around it, so ecoing that run without buying armor has allowed for this. But look at that, Davkos right through the window will take Groovy, who was standing on the bridge. Now, not so much standing on the bridge. And now we do have it into a 5 versus 4, man advantage gain for Spirit. And this is starting to look good, but they have used up a lot of their utility early on.
Yeah, they don't really have too much utility left, but AGO right now, they'll be looking to try and maybe gain themselves some map control. We see a nice setup coming in towards Banana at the moment. That's actually a lot of aggression has come in by Spirit. That'll give them the chance of any sort of contact is taken towards A to maybe try and push this together and trade out if there's anyone holding towards Banana, or else have that great flank come in. And right now, it looks like we will see AGO actually favouring heavily towards the A-bomb site. The bomb should be retrieved at any moment. Snatchy seems to be forgetting about it, thinking it was maybe up in the apartments. But yeah, it looks like it will be towards the A-bomb site. We're 3 players away and 2 in a position to go for the fast flank. But all the kills so far are going to be going in favour of AGO. Forlin and Tau, they're going to be able to find a headshot each as they open up this bomb site. And now, out of nowhere, Spirit are going to be working with a one-man disadvantage. And that's increased even further as PHR finds himself yet another kill onto Dima. And I think that's the save now coming in from Spirit. They've given up on this already.
AGO, this is what I talked about, the sheer skill on the side, able to open things up. Furlan, Tau and PHR all chiming in, finding 3 kills between them and just destroying the Spirit side. They're shutting them out of the server right now, and this is where Spirit, perhaps this is where their momentum starts to break, their confidence starts to break, and where AGO start to build their own. And this is where AGO, I think, are most dangerous, when they have that confidence momentum going. Not so much perhaps on their CT side, they didn't have too much of it, so Spirit were able to control the pace. But now, on this T side, AGO, they're in the driving seat right now.
Yeah, Coley does at least manage to find 1 kill there onto PHR, and there's no terrorists that are actually within range right now to deny the save. So it is going to be Coley and Sotvik at least carrying over 2 weapons, and we should be seeing a buy coming in, I presume. Coley should be able to drop 1, as should Sotvik, and Sunday Young can just about buy for himself maybe an M4 body armor and a smoker. He could maybe go down to that FAMAS or UMP to ensure that he gets that extra utility. I guess that's really just up to him. Maybe it would be a good idea if they're going to have those 4 M4s already coming out onto Coley, Sotvik, Dima and Davkos. But yeah, just a pause coming in finally. This is the first tactical pause I've seen all day, even a lot of one-sided games. And Spirit, I like that they call this. They call it before AGO are actually able to close that gap completely and equalize it. And they just want to try and restabilize themselves, begin to show that form that we saw from them on the terrorist side. And they just want to have a little talk and see what's going wrong.
It's where we didn't see a pause come out from AGO. Perhaps they just felt as though, right, we'll give them the T side. We suck on CT side. Let's just have a good T side, because they didn't have any pauses, I don't believe, on that first half. So it's quite interesting. They have good mental fortitude. They're definitely coming into this second half looking like a completely different team. And as we said, you never know with AGO. And then at the end of the first half, we speculated they could have a good T side, and this is definitely shaping up to be one of those. They've got the utility, and Spirit, they've only got an MP9 on some Die Young, and M4s around that, so it's mostly just going to be a weaker buy on Spirit, but you use up the utility. That's something I've noticed, actually. Spirit use up the utility incredibly early into the round, leaving them with nothing, and AGO have just played right into this. They just go for that late round execute when they know the site won't have any utility on board. It makes it a lot easier to get in on the bomb sites.
Yeah, for sure. That is something that they have been doing quite frequently. Nice damage they're actually put in by Snatchy as he does manage to damage up Coldy. That forces him back. Dima up close has to do some massive work, and he is actually going to be able to do a pretty good job as he takes down 2, allows only a 2-for-1 trade, leaving Spirit with that 1-man advantage. But then again, Coldy solo on that B bomb site, very low HP. The lurker though in the hands, or rather in the form of Tau, will be taken down by Sotvik, and that means that we may just see these 2 remaining players try and commit straight into the B bomb site. One player, of course, is still low. Coldy back towards the back of the bomb site does now have some support as Davkos has positioned himself towards the Kyles, and trades coming back and forth, leaves it all now onto PHR, and a 1-on-3 has to try and come up with a 1 versus 3 clutch. You have to get a kill into this round, but it would be a massive play if he's able to pull this one off, as he does begin to fall back and retreat from the banana position, it seems, waiting to see if he can catch any flanks.
PHR now on his own. This is a bit of a caster's curse, I would say. Davkos will catch him out. PHR drop, that's the bomb down and the player down. 13-9. Spirit, they answer back, and they're back to winning ways. But AGO, still a lot of cash in the reserves. They can definitely buy into this one, and a heavy buy at that. They've got utility across the board, Snatcher with the AWP, and Spirit, pretty strong buy, I'd say, as well. This is probably one of the most competitive rounds we'll likely see here, on paper at least. We never know how these rounds go. Sometimes these rounds can be the least competitive, but on paper, this should be the most competitive round we've had. And the aggression from AGO towards Banana. Oh my goodness, PHR is able to burn Coldie alive, and that's the early kill already gained for AGO without even seeing anyone.
Yeah, that's not good for Spirit. They can't really handle an economic reset right now. I'd say if AGO win this round, they'll be forcing Spirit at least on the 1 eco, with a couple of players right now who are actually in a territory where they may have to double eco. 3 players, I believe, so not a good round for Spirit to lose. They need to try and chain a couple together. We will see a 5 versus 4 advantage in AGO right now, just continuing to hold, waiting to see if anyone from Spirit decides to go for some aggression, any sort of play to really bring it back in their own favour, and just hoping to make sure that they themselves can capitalise on that. And it looks like it may happen towards Banana. Davcost with the opposite position himself a little bit closer. He's pushing up to wait and see if he's able to find any contact, and if he does, he may find 3 players indeed facing up towards Banana, towards his position. So staying on this corner right now, probably the best decision. Take 1 shot, fall back off towards the bomb site, and try and maybe take 1 more kill in the process.
Yeah, it's unlikely though they'll be going beyond that wall without some utility usage. Flashbang's likely to come over the wall. They've got a hefty amount of it. So Davcost, there goes the flash. It doesn't actually connect, so he still lands the shot, but it's not lethal. Now falls back, and this is where it gets awkward for Davcost. He has to fight on 4 fronts, because there's 4 players coming in here, quite aggressively as well. Dima, however, there's a gap in the smoke. He walks through, lines up 2, goes for the 3rd as well. This is huge, gets shut down by Snatchy, and that is absolutely ridiculous for Dima to find those 3 kills. And Davcost, he's there for a shot as well. Oh my god,
that was nuts. The double D combo, Dima and Davcost, completely destroying, decimating their opponents as the terrorists just had no success at all getting into that B-bomb site. That massive gap in that CT smoke is something that should never happen. How do you fail that smoke, especially as a team on this level? That's the small mistakes you should not be making. That's what puts you above these other teams. And you can see because of that, they kind of handed around the way there to Spirit.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible, that gap in the smoke, just because they threw a smoke that's slightly off. It could have gotten a Molotov as well. Dean was able just to walk through, stroll in, get 3 kills, walk right out, and then that causes a distraction. Davcost able to peek out and take advantage of that, and takes 2 kills himself. However, it does go down to the Molotov by Snatchy late into the round. But 14-19, Spirit, they still won right underneath the feet of AGO now. And that is going to be disheartening indeed, because they're back on the CZs. They've got the AK and the AWP surrounding that, so there's still a chance they can do. But the stars have to step up. It has to be Furlan, and it has to be Snatchy to try and find some kills. And even Tao actually has the AWP, so it's most likely we'll see him do the damage.
PHR by no means is a bad player either. He's actually been doing some great work throughout this game, so they definitely still have a good chance to try and bring themselves back into this round. The economy for the CT side is yet to actually build up, so winning this round would likely force Spirit onto an eco still, and it looks like they are going to be going into one of those set plays. They have the smokes ready, they're going to be executing towards the A-bomb site, and right now 4 players are actually pretty close. They do have a 4th player in the archway that can rotate over. Coldie, for the moment, he will be smoked, and it looks like they're actually going to see a wrap on towards the bomb site, but that's not the start they would have wanted. Sotvik finds 1, Coldie pushing through the smoke. He is going to find 1 before being traded out. Ruby getting himself an AK, is getting the work done. The man who struggled to step it up in the first half is finally coming in with some very, very massive plays, but it doesn't look like it may be enough. Snatchy's now the last man standing, 1-on-2. He knows Davcost is in the pit. He has very low HP, only needs to connect 1 bullet, but he needs to be also wary of Dima, who's now coming in from the CT spawn, and he finds the first. 1 more player for him to take down now as he looks to also try and retrieve this bomb with only 20 seconds remaining on the clock.
Davcost does the work from the pit. Now falls as Snatchy into a 1 versus 1. Dima is towards the library. Snatchy has no clue. Dima spots him out, does the damage, but this is getting really awkward right now. That Molotov should be enough to steal the deal. And Snatchy rolls out and gets his head popped off. And that will be map a point for Spirit. And a nice clutch from Dima. Snatchy came close, but unable to reap the goods. 15-9. AGO, they looked good, but just crumble right at the last second here. And it's just some heroics coming through by Spirit. Davcost woke up, and that is probably the biggest thing that Spirit have going for them right now. Davcost and Dima, the dynamic duo, finding the 2 frag, pretty much an ace, a team ace there. They picked up 3 kills on Dima in the previous round. 2 round from Davcost, and Davcost from the pit is able to pick up 2. This man's just been having a bit of a field day, finding kills left, right, and centre. And now they see that it is 15-9. And AGO, they have to win this round, otherwise map 1 is over.
Yeah, and actually a bit of a different play coming in by Team Spirit. Mostly we've been seeing them playing fairly passive, but this time aggression coming in by Davcost is not going to work out, but a nice Molotov from Sundai Young. It forces Tao to come in into that peak and throwing away that man advantage that his team had claimed for themselves, and it doesn't seem like it's going to matter. Furlan into the smoke just spams that angle. He knows his positions well. He takes down Coldie. Ruby also able to get himself a headshot towards the A-bomb site. So in an instant, it seems like this round has begun to fall apart for Team Spirit as they're left in a 2 versus 4. Both of those players on mid. Ruby spots out the he spots out the bum cheeks of one through the little gap there in the door, but seems like it may be closed out now by AGO as Groovy finally beginning to step it up massively over these past couple of rounds is something I must say. He's really beginning to be a bit of a force on this T side. It seems like it could still be not enough considering they are down by 5 and Spirit with map point, but for now he does help keep them alive.
Yeah, finding all the kills there. Groovy, a player we highlighted in the first half after finding 0 kills in quite a number of rounds, has stepped up massively for his team in the previous, finding 3 and even 2 into the last one. So this is rather insane. He's been playing out of his mind in the second half. And there he goes again, trying to find more. He's dealt damage, nearly lethal. They're down to 18 HP on 2 players. Although Tao is the first man to find a kill, but it's traded by Some Die Young. And now into a 4 versus 4. And T-side are going to be going towards that B-bomb site. And now this is where the low HP players stand. Although it doesn't matter, Dima picks up a headshot. And now this crossfire is actually quite lethal.
Yeah, and Coldy forced back out into construction now, and without the fuse get the CT side, this is going to be a very difficult retake. The bomb getting planted now, still utility in play to hold them back for at least a small amount of time. No chance to deny the bomb plant. And now it's going to be extremely complicated for Spirit to try and reclaim control of this bomb site and get that defuse. Even if they get all the kills, the time is already beginning to tick down slowly. And so far they've yet to really make any sort of advancement towards the bomb site. The smoke's still keeping them at bay for the moment. Groovy up on top of this position could be very lethal, but it's Snatchy to chime in first with the AWP. He takes down Davcost, and they're going to be falling back now. AGO finally getting themselves another round, chaining 2 together. I believe this may be the first time they've chained any together. No, it wasn't actually. I forgot they went on a roll early on in this half, but yeah, it is going to be 11 to 15 now. Spirit looking to try and save that final deagle.
Yeah, they strolled together 7 rounds, I believe, in a row. Coming in from that last round in this first half, they picked it up, and then 6 into the second half. So good roll by them. They've picked up 2 now, but this is where Spirit start to try and chip away at the economy of AGO. They've only got the pistols, so this is likely where they want to try and deal some damage. Nothing too much can be on the cards. However, we've seen stranger rounds before, and Some Die Young, he's gone out for a bit of aggression, but that nade will land a hell of a lot of damage onto Furlan. He's down 43 HP, picks up for a headshot, takes Coldy down, and now it's into an advantage for the AGO team as they expel Coldy from the server. And again, just a little bit of mid-control gained. This is a different stance. We haven't seen this one come into fruition just yet from AGO. Throwing the smoke off towards CT to try and put a little bit of a stopper in between the rotates. Already they head out towards the A site. They're going to go for a bit of a split. The bomb going towards long. Softic got to walk out. Tao nearly loses his life. That bomb now has been shown, and this is where it gets a little bit risky for AGO.
Yeah, I think they should still be able to close this one out quite easily. That one player in apartments is just about to be spotted, and Ruby causing some damage, at least forcing them to retreat back through the apartments. Molotov denies him access from that position, at least for the moment, and he actually does manage to find himself one headshot on towards Furlan, so that's a weapon that can be retrieved. That AK maybe will be saved, I'd presume, especially with Snatchy finding that kill onto Some Die Young. It's only Demon now on CT spawn, and Davcost looking to still try and maybe approach from the apartments, but he does finally begin to fall back.
Bomb now taken away. AGO likely to get themselves the 12th, as Spirit have been locked out of the bomb site. So any round they can get to make this scoreline look a little less one-sided, which it hasn't been in the second half, but more so in the first. Spirit now only won a couple in the second half, but enough to get them up to map point, and Dima actually catching Groovy out there. Him down. That's a gun, at least, out of the hands of AGO. That's a rebuy. Doesn't really matter too much. They've got a lot of cash in the bank, and this is where Spirit need to win this round. They have to go and take it. Otherwise, AGO are just going to have a bit of a field day coming back into this one. The economy will start to grow, their momentum and their confidence. And this is where Spirit need the answer back. They've got the AWP. This is the round to do it. They've got Davcost on the op. They've got the 4 rifles around that utility, and the defuse kit on Some Die Young. But AGO, it's a full buy from them as well. Oh, and Snatchy isn't going to spot anybody today as they go into the apartments. And it's just going to be another standard setup from AGO, taking mid control and perhaps an A split on the cards, but the bomb is still back towards T-spawn.
Yeah, and looks like right now they maybe just sending everyone up towards Banana early on. All 5 players have just regrouped, and I think we're going to see a bit of a faster round. Let's see if Spirit are going to be successful at actually trying to hold this one. They do have a bit of utility at least to work with. I believe that is Coldy and Dima over on that B-bomb site. They do have a smoke, a flash, and a Molotov available between those 2 players, but let's see if they're going to be successful in their hold. Right now the smoke continuing to delay that Molotov, going just a little bit too deep, trying to force a player out in the corner, and nice aggression comes in, but it's not going to work out. Even while blinded, Tao will be able to find that first kill. Tao finds the trade also on the Coldy, as he's only able to successfully find 1 kill. That leaves us now on a 4-on-3 as AGO once again taking control of this bomb site with an advantage. And that's going to be Spirit already giving up on this round. They are looking to just try and save these M4s and that up.
Spirit locked out of this site, but saving these weapons isn't the worst call. They're going to have those into the next round, and Dima and Coldy, they're likely to be able to buy around it. Even if they're not, they will likely get a drop. So AGO is not done yet. They are coming back slowly, though. Could pull it all the way back to overtime, and that would absolutely be insane. If anybody's just joining into the server, into the chat as well, the storyline, if you're unaware, AGO right now are playing for a spot in IEM Katowice to play in front of that home crowd. So all of the pressure is on them right now, and Spirit, the pressure's completely off them. They can do what they like. So AGO, they really want to get to that crowd. They expressed their want to play in front of that crowd on Twitter after the MDL finals. So definitely a lot of pressure lying on their shoulders to try and get to IEM Katowice after they were pronounced the best team in Poland. And do you think team that can give them a little bit more pressure?
Yeah, certainly, so. But then again, this game isn't really the most important one yet. This is only early on in the tournament. They still have a long way to go, even if they do win this one. So I don't really think that's something that should really be bothering them. If it is, then they definitely have a bit of a mentality issue. But yeah, it seems like right now they definitely have themselves composed. Rather, they're doing a good job so far at trying to build this comeback on the terrorist side. They had a bit of a hiccup as Spirit did manage to chain a few rounds together, but right now it's all back in control of the AGO side once again, as they do seem to have to go for a bit of a more passive default this time, and that's due to the aggressive pushes coming in from Spirit. Those smokes thrown down towards Banana to take control, and also smoke towards middle, and there's no real peaks coming in from the CT side to hand anything away. Looks like the T's will finally begin moving their way up Banana now. All 5 players once again, actually. So AGO definitely seem to be favouring this B-bomb site quite a lot at the moment. Maybe they've spotted a small weakness in the Spirit defence, and so far seems to be working quite well for them. It seems like they may be exploiting something that has been allowing them to chain these rounds together once again. 2 rounds now is all they need to try and force this into overtime, and if they win this one, they will be causing quite a lot of damage. If they win this one, rather, they will be keeping the Spirit economy quite low for what could be the final round of the half. And there we go, Tao able to find that first kill onto D-Mick. Coldy does at least trade it back, but the smoke going in that position afterwards will force him to fall back off and be happy enough with that for one trade, allowing them to remain at least in a 4-on-4. And with a bomb going down, PH are able to get that planted to Terrace. Lots of time to try and position themselves into some strong after plants, and that's some nice damage done by Coldy as he spams in through the smoke. But he also does actually receive some from Furlan, who's able to kind of have a bit of an angle over that smoke. The CT coming in, the CT boost coming in rather. Furlan able to find one and do damage also on towards SDY rather, and because of that they are just going to back off once again. And this seems like it's maybe the 10th time or something that Spirit have actually had to save. They just haven't been having any success actually holding this bomb site, and the retakes are so difficult.
Yeah, AGO did such a good job of just taking that B-bomb site by storm and then just locking them out of the site as well. And that is not exactly something Spirit have been trying to fix. I mean, they haven't done anything different. They haven't went for some aggression or anything. So perhaps that's what we'll see come out into the next round. They need to change something up towards B for sure, because it's just falling instantly, and AGO were able to hold them out. I mean, they've lost. I think they just lose the 2 players towards B early on, and then the other players can't really get in. And at that point, you just kind of have that mentality, all right, we have to fall back. There's no chance to win this one. We might as well just save our weapons into the next round. And that's sort of a good decision, but once you do it a couple of rounds in a row, maybe even 5, I think it is at this point, it's not worth it. Might as well try and attempt something. But they're coming into the last round to play for overtime or AGO. They've come all the way back, and there's Snatchy finding the opening kill, and that will now open up the apartments for Tao to get in and spamming through. Nearly connects the second, but mostly it's going to be AGO now. They are in the driving seat in this round. It's going to be theirs to lose, because if you look at the statistics, Spirit, after losing a man into the round, they have a very low percentage of win rate after losing the man early on. So we're looking at Coldy. Dean is there to pick it up. Coldy is going to find the trade, so they extend, the follow-up, and that will be now on the back foot, AGO.
Yeah, Coldy receiving a lot of damage, and that though leaves him down on 3 HP, and it looks like they're going to go for a bit of a gamble, stacking up instead towards the A-bomb site, and that seems to be the correct decision as the terrorists do just group up and try to go towards this A-bomb site together, but the damage is done by Sotfik. That was a very crucial double frag there, and that leaves it all onto Tao now. He's in a 1-on-3. He finds the first. Going to have 2 more players to try and take down, one of those still being low HP, but he himself not really looking so healthy. Nice nade goes in. That's exactly... Oh my god, Tao! What was that? we do see Snatchy and Teo coming in that round for a couple of frags combined, including a 1-on-3 to send us into overtime. And that opening frag by Snatchy may have just been enough to snatch victory from the hands of the cold, dead hands of Spirit. As right now, they seem to just have no success at all on the CT side. AGO looking so much better on this terror side for sure.
Yeah, coming into the second half, I even said before we started, 12-3 seems to be that scoreline where everyone likes to come back from, and it's happened here. 15-15, we're at overtime, and right now the momentum and the confidence is with AGO, and I said that's where they perform the best. And even though we look at the statistics, if you look even on HLTV, Spirit have a very low percentage of converting these rounds where they lose the first man early on. It didn't really happen too badly. They picked up a double coming through. Coldie was able to pull the man advantage back, and they just seemed to lose out to Tao, who goes huge there in the end. And now we go to overtime. First round of overtime. I think AGO have had quite a lot more experience, I think, in these situations, playing against sort of more top level teams. I mean, they played against Space Soldiers at the MDL final, so as of recent, I mean, AGO have definitely had more experience in high pressure situations. So I'm going to start to give AGO perhaps the favour into this.
Yeah, AGO, you never know. I'm going to continue on with that slogan rather, because I think it fits really well. PHR, a nice bit of damage there early on. He sprays up through the banana smoke, connects a small amount to at least bring it back to a bit of more of an even situation, because Forlin himself had received just about 30 HP points of damage. So right now, passive default coming in with a T side. They can't really get too much map control, as we see Spirit are looking to try and contest that. They use their smokes well. They use that utility to hold them back for the moment, at least, as they just group up over towards banana. As we can see, at least with 3 of those players grouped on banana, they throw a smoke up, looking to try and reclaim, cut off any players who may have actually been completely pushed down and up in one of these close angles. But luckily enough for the CT side, they had just backed that player off. I'm not sure who that was. I believe it was Coldie, as he fell back off instead towards the bomb site to support his teammate. Teammate also playing up close towards that car position, looking to see if he can find anything spamming through the smoke.
Put a lot of pressure here. Furlan's been able to find quite a lot of success on top of these logs. He's going for glory yet again, but that Molotov will push through. His teammate gets a lot of damage dealt, and now PHR is in there. Furlan takes down PHR, his own teammate. Makes it a little bit easier for Spirit now to deal with. The man advantage has been dwindled, and Snatchy on 9 HP. So back towards A they go with only 23 seconds left. They have to commit here, and there's only one smoke left, and it's on Furlan, who's actually on B. So he's going to use up their final piece of utility over towards B on a last stand of Fick. And here goes Sumda Young. He has to stand up huge here. 10 seconds left. Drops the bomb. That's the player you don't want to be losing if you're AGO, but there's still time as Groovy with a quick trade. And now this is the retake underway. Spirit, they've lost control of the site just at the last moment. Snatchy pops up. The flashbang's good. Can he find the kill though?
Yeah, he's looking to just try and find the route right now. Snatchy playing with death as he continues to just shoulder peek this position, and he actually is going to get taken down in the process. Sotfik finds that frag. Brings us into a 2-on-2 as Furlan is able to find one, as is Groovy with a headshot, and Sotfik now, he's going to be looking to try and come in from above. He has the high ground, and it's all over as he is going to be able to take Groovy down. And that is going to be Spirit actually taking the first round of overtime, successfully able to find that one. And that could have been really dangerous for AGO. I know they do end up losing the round, but the chance of denying that bomb plant was so high. They ran the time down so low. Once that bomb started going down, the player who was actually planting it was so low HP. They were lucky that Spirit didn't have a nade to deny it. But in the end, Spirit do manage to actually get that retake successfully either way. And AGO continuing to buy. Of course, they still have plenty of economy. They won't be struggling. They'll be buying for the following 2 rounds. And a reminder, it is the first in 19. If both teams reach 18, we will be heading into another overtime.
Another overtime would be incredible. AGO, after coming back so far, lost the first round of overtime, but just marginally so. So Spirit, they definitely still have a chance now. AGO, however, will be trying to regain that momentum as they head towards the A-bomb site. Softig, he's going to fall back after getting flashbanged. He is forced onto that A-bomb site now. Pretty much the control of the A-bomb site is definitely under pressure now. AGO have got control of long, and they will start to spring their attack. But this is an interesting setup, I believe, Dean. Inside of in apartments here, they have 2 players there. They've got the rifle support and the AWP backed up towards the balcony.
I actually like that setup. I've seen teams do that in the past. My team does it also. It's a really solid setup. Just, you have the op holding the corner, you have a player up close with a rifle ready to maybe find the player who comes in to try and actually trade out that op frag, not expecting another player to be ready to actually shoot by that point, not expecting the op to be pulled back and really cocked to actually take a second shot. But I believe Davkos is actually the one in the corner, interestingly enough, as right now AGO focusing most of their attention over towards A as they look to try and wrap towards the A bomb site, possibly. Snatchy He's able to snatch that first kill there as he takes down Sotfik over towards Moto position, and Davkosh trades it back. The op so far are going to be the two weapons that chime in as we do see PHR finally fallen. Sumdai Young from the pick getting some work done also, and Groovy trading it back with a quick double headshot. And that's the Poles now taking themselves a one-man advantage and taking themselves full control of this A-bomb site, but it doesn't look like Team Spirit are going to give up by any means. Coldy coming in from the library position is going to be able to take down one more.
They're just trying to hold on for dear death right now. It's Furlan up on top of the box, waiting for Coldy to go through that smoke, but realizes as soon as that smoke starts to dissipate, I've got to get some better cover. Falls inside of the site, and now the time is ticking dangerously low. Now they're going to come in from the both of the same angle. Furlan will spot out one, gets himself taken down. Dima, he takes one. Coldy will take the second, and that will be the round. Spirit, they have a few seconds here on the clock. They will get it though. 17 to 15. That is unbelievable, that retake coming through there.
Yeah, and Spirit, I said that the game may have been kind of really slipping out of their grasp, but it seems like they've definitely brought themselves back into it now. And this overtime they've shown, once they have all that economy available to themselves, they can definitely put in a very solid performance. So maybe it was just the fact that they weren't able to get that full buyout every time they wanted over in the regulation time, but now they have everything they need and it's going extremely well. AGO, I would say, desperately need to take this final round in this half at least. Otherwise, Spirit are going to be in a position where they already have map point and they only need to pick up one of those terrorist rounds to close it out. Snatchy towards middle right now has the op. It looks like Davkost was kind of tempted to peek, but he falls back as he hears some noise towards Boiler, and he just asks Sumdai Young, hey, will you give me a bit of cover here? Sumdai Young's like, sure, and just instantly takes himself that headshot, and that's going to be Spirit once again claiming the man advantage.
Look how pushed up Dima is on Banana. He's all the way up towards the top end, maybe even closer towards T-stairs there, so that's going to be a perfect angle if he wants to do a flank here towards middle, and that's where AGO are going right now. The flashbang will force them back a little bit longer now. Still waiting to pounce, waiting for his moment. He needs a little bit more info. He doesn't feel it's safe enough just to push just yet, but eventually will most likely. This would be the perfect time, I think, Dean. Just when they're setting up for this execute, this would be the perfect time to strike. And it seems as though he's about to do it as well. If he can even take one down, that's going to be the execute done. He does get a smoke thrown off just before he gets dropped, so that does still allow for the execute, but Dima's lining up too. Goes down to Snatchy, and Snatchy will fall the soft take. Only PHR remaining, and he's up inside of the apartments. They know where he is. It's going to be a field day here. Team Spirit, they're going to take this one, but PHR has suddenly got himself a headshot, but there's too many players to find. If he pulls this off, this will be one of the most insane clutches we've had in a while here. And here he drops through. Davkost lands the shot, and it goes 18-15. We're moving into the second half of overtime number 1, with Team Spirit taking all 3 rounds here on CT side.
Yeah, that round was all Dima. What a performance. What a great flank. Of course, the shots maybe could have been a bit cleaner, but he got the work done. He took down 2 players, done some damage, caused distraction to a lot of players to regress on short, and just ended up with a 1-on-4 situation for PHR. And of course, he couldn't get it done, as you can see. So Spirit 1 away from taking this first map. AGO not in a great position right now. We've seen them pull off this comeback before. Will they be able to do it once again, though? And this time on the CT side, where they did struggle in regulation. Let's see if they're going to be able to pull something similar to Spirit and really step it up now on the CT side.
If they do, it's going to be a desperate one. They've picked up 3 AWPs. This is something we have not seen in a while. It's really unorthodox.
This is the IGL saying, lads, I have no idea what we should do. Just buy ops.
Yeah, everyone buy up. And they're just going to go for it. This never works out. It can occasionally work out because you just don't expect it. It's just one of those setups you just never expect. When it happens, it can actually work out beautifully. So, Snatchy holding the archway position. I like to call this archway, even though he's technically not in archway. Just because you play that position, you go for that opening pick, then you fall back inside the archway, then you fall back towards CT. It's a really nice setup to play with the AWP. It's one of my favorite positions to play with that AWP. But PHR, he's opened the things up, this time without the AWP of Davkost. No, sorry, Davkost used to lurk towards that side of the map, so no AWP here. It's going to be PHR, and he's going to control that side of the map now as they have flipped sides. Picking up the first kill. And now into a 5 versus 4 man advantage gained for the AGO side.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they needed now. They started off strong on the CT side, looking to try and get themselves some momentum now. Finally begin to get themselves back in towards this game. As Spirit with a 1-man disadvantage, looks like they will be favouring towards this B-bomb site. This is going to be their final destination, it seems, as their 4th player. That is going to be Coldy. Finally looks to try and regroup, and this CT smoke needs to stop failing. Look how dangerous this is. Tau finds himself a kill easily onto Sotfik. And that's something that Team Spirit are going to look back over and say, this can't be happening. This is the biggest mistake you could ever make. And it's just so small. The trade's coming back and forth, though. They're still trying to bring themselves back into this. Coldy able to find themselves one, leaving them in a 2-on-4, rather. but doesn't seem like it's going to work out as AGO find yet another kill from Tao with that AWP. Coldy pushing aggressively, 2 kills so far. Gonna need to pick up an ace clutch if he wants to win this round for his team, and it's not looking too likely. But as I say that, he finds himself yet another, but he won't be able to find the flick onto PHR, and that is going to be another round finally onto the board for AGO as they get themselves up to 16. 2 in the difference. 2 more now for AGO to force this into a second overtime.
Battle comes down to that missed smoke, as you pointed out. But the interesting thing is, it wasn't Spirit who messed it up in the first half. It was actually AGO. So both teams are feeling this smoke. It's so weird. Like, this smoke, I don't know what's up. Does it keep catching the Molotov, or is it like a pixel or something? It just doesn't reach. It was the exact same error as well. So Spirit made the same error as AGO, and it seems as though there's a big gap left in the side of it now.
It's just such an easy smoke. I presume that would have been the same team that messed it up twice. Maybe one of the players I was thinking had a bit of a messed up lineup. I don't know. But apparently people are just
weird that it happens. A bit weird that it happens on 2 teams. That's interesting. Although, AGO, they're able to get themselves the 16th round. Tao, there's another gap that he's trying to play with here. Still hits it while blind right through the smoke. And Furlan now, it's a double up setup inside a banana. Davcost will land the trade, but it's a 2-for-1 trade. And AGO, they still got that man advantage. And that is one of the most unorthodox setups I've seen played towards banana.
Oh yeah, continuing on with the triple op setup, I just realised, and it's working out for them once again. They're able to get themselves 2 opening kills. They are going to be in a 5-on-3, leaving Spirit with a 1-man disadvantage. And AGO at the moment, they're going to be on for a bit of a gamble, it seems, rotating that third player over towards A. They're going to leave, and they're going to leave the B-bomb site in the hands of Tao and trust that he's going to be able to solo this position if he needs to. But luckily enough for AGO, it seems like they will have the terrorists instead coming towards this position where they've put most of their presence. They will be now waiting for them to just try and come out towards middle, and rather Spirit taking themselves that control. We should see them beginning to advance soon. Only 44 seconds remaining on the clock.
This is going to be right down to the wire. Snatchy, there's the shot. Comes through with the opening kill. Davcost goes to land one back, misses the shot. Groovy landing the damage, but still alive is Davcost. And now this is where Some Young comes in from a good angle. Coming in from the library. There's one on site, one inside of the pit. Of course, there's still one inside of CT spawn, so he's got to move quickly, otherwise his position will be compromised. He's got to try to work in tandem here. Opens up the first kill. PHR down, swings round for the second. Groovy now drops, and that's a heroic play coming through by Some Young. He just expels both the players off the server, and now gets that bomb down, and this starts to flip it on its head here. Tao has to retake 1 versus 2 with an AWP, and Davcost now holding the angle. This makes things incredibly difficult for Tao now. He is going to attempt it, however. He comes in with the first shot, so now things are starting to look good. Hits the second. Tao with the clutch will get it through. That will be the defuse coming through. AGO will get themselves 17 rounds on the board. Tao with a 3k. Unbelievable
I don't know if those peaks were really needed by Spirit there.
No, Tao didn't even peek. He just hit that as well. Like, he just walked around, hit the shot so quick. Davcost unable to react in time.
He was the second player because he just did not try it. He was just kind of sitting there watching them like, oh,
it was Some Young, I believe, wasn't it?
Young. Damn, he had such a great round overall, and he messes it up there at the end. And because of that, AGO now still in them with a good chance to force this into a second overtime. That's a big mistake. Multiple times now, Spirit should have had this game, and once again they failed just as they're about to cross the finish line, and that gives AGO a chance now to try and continue on with this map. Nice damage going to be done as we see the AWP being able to connect through the corner of the wall. Second AWP, of course, in the hands of Furlan, still continuing on as he's playing from the back of sight. He's going to be able to find 1 kill, putting that man advantage in favour of the Team Spirit, rather in favour of the AGO side. And yeah, it looks like we will be heading into another overtime.
Baltic lands 2 headshots, and the triple up setup has been the factor of this half that has proven AGO some worth. And now Softic, he has it all to do. 1 versus 3, 1 minute left in the clock, so plenty of time to do so. He's got to find the kills. There's the first now. Drop low, and PHR will end his misery. 18-18. We say head to the second overtime, and this game's becoming a flipping blockbuster of a game right now. 18, and seeing clutches coming through.
Oh yeah, it's some amazing players from either side, but I don't know if it's super high quality CS or kind of this type of CS where I'd say maybe a throwback to kind of like the days of like Envious, etc. It's maybe not the highest quality CS, but it's just everyone showing up, everyone hitting some amazing shots, and all mistakes are just being, any mistake that is made is going to be capitalized on by the other team, and it's making for a very interesting game as now we look to head into the second overtime. And I still have no idea who's going to win this game. Every time I think one team is out, they come straight back into it. As I said, AGO, you never know.
Yeah, the first half, it was 12-2 at one point, I believe. So the comeback is absolutely unbelievable. 18-18 Spirit here are looking, they're going to feel a lot of pressure now to try and close this one out because they had such a strong lead. And for that just to slip away from them, Tau coming in there with a huge clutch. That was their chance to close it out. Tau hits a wonderful 1 versus 2. And that is now shaping up to be a brilliant game right now. And of course, this is only map number 1. We've got another 2 to go, perhaps, if we're able to bring it to the 3rd map. So this is definitely shaping up to be a great best of 3 and getting into this first half of second overtime. And this is going to be a very good one indeed.
Oh, yes, certainly. And I have no idea who's going to be playing the best here. Right now, it looks like a really CT-sided map. So I'm going to say AGO take it up 21-18, then Spirit take it back 21-21. Because that's the only thing that right now I think would make sense to me. Seems to be what happens every single time, so...
Yeah, the CT sides have been favouring both teams heavily. I mean, their T sides are really going on low numbers. Apart from Spirit, they had a pretty strong T side in that first in regulation time. 12 rounds on that. So, hey Joe, it was a bit quite the opposite, but they seem to have woken up now. They seem to be playing a lot better than they did previously. So, perhaps overtime and regulation are completely 2 different beasts. And now Team Spirit, they're going to be going for pretty much what they did in regulation time, just going for the slow default. The 3 players towards banana. 1 holds back a little bit more, watches towards mid. The other 2 put a little bit more pressure towards that A side of the map. And there goes Snatchy again, playing his perfect position with this AWP.
Strangely enough, I think this triple up setup from AGO might actually be a sesh trap because they seem to be just consistently going for it. So this is a very strange thing if they are indeed. I guess they'd be the first team to really have a consistent triple up setup on any sort of map.
Yeah, the thing is as well, though, like, these 3 players can play it really proficiently, which is awesome to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. They definitely have the skill to do it, and that's why it's working for them. And there you go. Tao is going to show us that he is definitely very, very capable with that AWP as he does take down some die young. And I guess he did die young as he peeks out early on to the round. Dies with 48 seconds now remaining for Team Spirit to try and maybe regroup and take over one of these bomb sites. And with a 1-man disadvantage, it's going to be difficult. I guess the best choice maybe would be that B bomb site, and it looks like they will actually be regrouping over towards that side of the map. 4 players for AGO right now waiting over toward the A-bomb site. Only the single up in the hands of Furlan to try and hold down B right now.
Tau and Groovy on A, so they'll try and a retake possibly late into the round once the calls come through. This is actually a huge hit coming in from Team Spirit. If they lose this round, that'll be unbelievable. Furlan now, this is the correct decision. Fall back, nearly hits the shot, but just unable to line it up. Now, Snatchy's in, they call it. They're still alive. 9 seconds left on the clock. They've waited right down to the final wire. The bomb's still not down, so this is perfect. If Furlan has that shot, that's... Oh my god, that's it over. That is the round. AGO, Team Spirit, absolutely... Oh, that was ridiculous. That shouldn't have been a round win for AGO.
I don't know.
No words to say. Furlan just... I was thinking in my head this could be an option. Furlan might be able to hit through this smoke because where he's planted right now, there's not enough time to get rid of that. So he's going to go for the shot. It's the most common lineup. And of course he hits the shot, and that is the round stolen away. AGO up to 19. And the Spirit, they're going to be kicking themselves after losing that one. If they go out here, that's going to be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, for sure. Continuing on with the triple up setup, why not? It's been working so spectacularly so far for AGO, and Spirit once again the game beginning to slip out of their grip just a small amount. I wouldn't count them out quite yet though. Every time I have counted the team out, they've instantly proved me wrong. But Tao coming in with another nice shot, nice op shot there. The 2nd round in a row that he's been able to find that opening kill to put AGO with a 1-man advantage. And now Team Spirit down once again in a 4-on-5 on the back foot, looking to try and bring this round back. At least they have a lot of time to do so. There is still just about 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining.
Already man advantage gained for AGO. This is absolutely incredible. They are looking to try and take this one. Again, this 4-man stack towards A. They've been playing that perfectly, leaving Furlan the only player towards B, and he's been doing a good job at staying alive. It's just the intelligence of that play, just to be able to stay alive on that B bomb site long enough for your team to rotate in. And the way they can rotate so quickly is huge as well. So if they walk on the A bomb site, they get destroyed, but they are pressuring towards B, and that's where Furlan's lying in wait. If they take him down, that's the opening night. If I was AGO, I'd just try and at least let them plant and just play for the retake at this point.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the only option. We do see Snatchy trying to get into position, but before the bomb goes down, he's not really going to be able to get anything done, I don't believe. Oh, will the wall bank come in? No,
Oh
he's a
my,
little bit
please
off.
no.
Just wasn't quite on. He can't pull off another miracle for the AGO side. We've seen players doing that multiple times. We've seen Tao have it happen. We've seen Furlan have it happen with amazing rounds to just somehow put it in favour of AGO. But this time they are going to have to try and successfully get this 4 versus 4 retake. Smokes at the moment will be delaying them, but a nice, I believe, smoke goes down towards Banana to try and cut off at least one of these players from trying to support their teammates on the after plant as now Snatchy begins to move in the AWPs. This is when it gets hard to retake, and yeah, there you go, all the kills going in favour of Spirit. That's where the triple op setup gets dangerous if you aren't able to successfully hold that bomb site and take yourself an advantage to come into it. And the ops are just so limited in terms of what they can do on the retake. They don't really have the same maneuverability as you do with those rifles.
Yeah, I think that's probably the last time we'll see that 4-man stack towards A. Yeah, there we go. They put another player over there to help out Furlan. That just didn't work out that round. It didn't in the previous, but once they kind of got a read of it, Spirit were able to abuse it. And that will be the round for them. AGO, they've at least fixed their mistake early on here, so it doesn't do any more damage. And Tao, he's going to be playing a position that actually can't be spotted out, so perhaps they think they're going for this setup again, and this can then be a secret surprise. Tao being on that bomb site, and they've gone down to the double op now, not the flashy 3 ops. So we got themselves back to reality. And at a point, you think a double op setup's a little bit strange, and now it just feels normal, Dean.
Oh yeah, I believe that's also a political theory. Once there's some, I saw a Vox video about it recently, and it just kind of reminded me of this. Once you see people doing kind of insane things, the things that were previously considered insane are slightly less insane compared to it. So
yeah,
it becomes kind of more the norm. So yeah, I guess that's kind of something that you could, something that you could compare it to. But yeah, the double up setup seems fairly standard, and they are going to have it in the hands of Furlan and Snatchy, which in my opinion is quite interesting because Tao really was the one that was actually finding those opening kills. But then again, Furlan was doing a good job at holding the B-bomb site. Snatchy has cooled off a little bit, I believe, but now with 44 seconds left on the clock, we will see the T's just regrouping towards Banana, and this is going to mean Tao and Furlan are going to have to put in a solid CT defense right now on this B-bomb site.
They've got very limited utility on Spirit left. They've got 2 smokes, 2 flashes. There goes one of the smokes, both of them as well. So there's going to be a full commit to this B-bomb site. And this should be the rotates coming through pretty quickly here. There goes Tao for the opening kill. Takes down Dima. Takes down SDY as well. And there goes the third. Tao shut them all down. This is an absolute unbelievable performance from the youngster from Poland. Davkos is able to grab his teammate, but Tao going for a 4K will secure it. And Snatchy there to take it as well. 20-19. 1 off. Your prediction, Dean, but it's still a very dominant half from AGO, moving into the second half of overtime and number 2.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to the remainder of this half now to see if we are finally going to see one team closing out or if we'll continue on heading into overtimes.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a great one coming through. I mean, Spirit, they had such a great performance into that first half. They were able to get themselves up to 12-3 in regulation time. Coming into the second half, AGO just, it was all the AGO team all the way back. And now we're at the scoreline 20-19 in favour of the Polish Stars. And the double up setup straight out of the gate here is going to be starting on that T side. Snatchy and Furlan will be grabbing that utility across the board as well. Only the singular op. And Davkost, he's been having a blistering game as well, as not to neglect mentioning Davkost's performance into this one. That smoke coming out is going to allow for Team Spirit to secure at least some early aggression inside of the apartments. AGO not spotting anything out towards the middle, so they now have a little information to go on. That bomb is all the way back towards the T stairs, and only 25 seconds left of the clock. The round virtually just begun, and already AGO are going to be trying to do a cavalry charge. They've got the bomb, they're getting ready, and this aggression again coming through. They've been doing this quite often where Dima gets aggressive inside of Banana. Do they expect this though? They got shut down previously from it, so this time do they expect it? He's up inside of the logs. HR looks to be waiting for this play to come through. There's 1 minute left on the clock. 3 players up towards A. The bomb still towards the T stairs. There's the kill. PHR expects it. Takes down Dima. And now they are going to try and impact onto that B bomb site, leaving only 1 player there. Still pressure has been put up towards middle. So AGO still rather undecided what the final call is at this point. And Dean, it looks as though we do have a bit of a split coming through in the defense. It's going to be very weak. They've got 2 players inside the apartment, so this A site is up for grabs, but they'll go back towards B. And this is a decent call, I would say.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so, especially with one of those players being so passive in the CT spawn. Sotfik, if he gets smoked off, there's not really much you can do to actually support Coldie other than maybe throw a bit of utility, a couple of flashes or something. And He does actually have a Molotov available also. I believe that could delay it for quite a while, but Coldy finds a single frag before being taken down instantly in return, and Davkos, what a flick! He takes down the lurker of Grubby. He was trying to get that sneaky kill in towards CT and SDY from behind. This is just such a strange round at the moment. Team Spirit looking likely to be able to equalise the scoreline once again, unless Tao is able to pull off a great clutch, which we have already seen in this game. Yeah, they're going to be coming in now from the Kyle's position. How able to find that first one onto Sundai Young, and now it's only Davkos on low HP, so instantly this round has just gone heavily back in favour of AGO to try and get themselves up to 21. Davkos, he has made his position known, going to be looking for this, and he should be caught off guard. There we go, it is indeed going to be another round for the Polish side. AGO 21-19.
He does it again. Tao, again with a 1 versus 2 clutch, is able to get himself a 4K in total into the round. And he's really been the deciding factor for AGO. This comeback is all Tao right now. Let's have a look at his score, actually. You've got,
oh my God,
42 and 26. And the second, I believe, is Snatchu sitting on 29 and 28. And this is an amazing performance out of Tao right now. This man is having an incredible game. So I would say single-handedly is carrying AGO through some of these rounds at this point. He saved them from going out on the first overtime with that wonderful clutch. And now even there he clutches again another 1 versus 2. So now the pressure is definitely on Spirit. They need to find a way to shut this man down.
Yeah, it seems like at the moment Tao is just too much for Spirit to handle. I'm going to continue on going with these very horrible puns and wordplay because I like doing it. It's fun. It keeps me entertained. I am a bit of a child sometimes. I'm the type of person who would play with a cardboard box rather than the actual toy that came with it when I was a child. So I do like to enjoy myself. But right now in a 5-on-5 AGO, just looking to try and group up towards Banana, it seems. They leave one player, of course, over towards A. That is going to be the player that we previously mentioned. Tao is over towards A, looking to try and lurk and maybe find any aggression that comes in, as the rest of his teammates do seem to focus on the B-bomb site. At least trying to bait out as much of that utility as they can, also to give that easy access in towards the B-bomb site once they get a chance to. As now Tao making his presence known, at least it looks like he may even just go back and group up with his teammates now. Have those 5 towers just trying to overwhelm the CT defense over on B, and it's going to be difficult for, I believe that is Dima and Coldy, to try and hold.
The B-bomb site is about to be put under a hell of a lot of pressure. Spirit, they have been losing it quite often, but this boost is coming through, and for some reason teams don't check this boost, but they will today. It's Tao, of course, to check it. Swings round for a 2K, and again, continuing his great performance. That's 6 kills in 2 rounds already, and the rotates are coming through. One inside of the Banana position. PHR is going to grab a headshot, taking down Softic, and now is Sundai Young trying to get in through the ruins. Davkos has taken Gruby and expels him from the server. There's Tao on for another 4K perhaps, as the only player left to stand in his way is Davkos, and he's walking right into his domain. Snatchy picks it out and takes the kill, and that is it. Going to be AGO. They come back trail, and AGO will finally close it out here. Absolutely ridiculous clutches and plays. 12-3 it was at one point, and they've come all the way back, Dean.
Yeah, we do have to draw back to the analyst desk, guys, now, so we can discuss this game that you did just witness.
Thanks to our casters, Dean and Dinko. Great casting, guys, and amazing match by Ago Gaming Tuao with 45 frags in 41 rounds. So really amazing display of skill from him, and definitely MVP for this map at least. And as our casters pointed out, it was 12-3 for Team Spirit at first half, and Ago coming back all the way to that overtime, and Tuao once again was the man to bring them to that overtime with that 1 versus 3 clutch. So overall, guys, Danny, what do you think? How is Ago able to come back from 12-3 deficit?
Well, as our caster said, AGO, you never know. I mean, they were losing 11-4, quite good start in the first half by Team Spirit, but in the second they kind of threw the game. I mean, they had, I think, 2 match points. I mean, they were leading 15-14, and Tuao clutching in situation 1v3 on A side. Again, at the end of first overtime, he clutched again 1v2 on B side, and now they just got. They got lost against Ago in the second overtime. So really interesting game. I mean, 45 kills. That's quite impressive. I said in the beginning, like, Gruby will be one of the better players from in Ago, but in the first half he lacked delivery. He had maybe 2 kills in first 7 or 8 rounds. He stepped up in the second half, and Ago just won the game. And I just say again, it's quite impressive game.
However, it wasn't only Tuao that stepped up for Ago. Basically, whole team coming back from that deficit from first half. What do you need as a team to even be able to come back from such a large deficit?
I mean, they're all professionals. They play game for such a long time, so I don't think they have, like in Serbia that players have here, bad state of mind, that kind of sense when you're losing, when you're down such a amount of rounds, then you cannot play. I think the thing is that Tao keep it up the team with that clutches, and he really step up. I mean, that 1-on-2 situation he won on 15-14 on A side, it's not like he played so good. I mean, he played well, but the Spirit guys, 2 remaining who were alive in the site, they misplayed. They run out 1 by 1. I think the Samdai Young, he died last, and he didn't need to such a wide peak when his teammate died. I mean, you need to trade frags, but if you don't need, cannot trade them in the 1 second or 2 seconds, don't go out after 2 or 3 seconds when the player can reset their aim and hear your steps and everything. It's misplay from the team Spirit, but I mean, it's best of 3. Everything can happen, so that's it.
Yeah, and congrats really to Ago. I actually thought after the first half that Team Spirit gets this, I don't know, 9 out of 10 times, but it seems like they said no and bring that map to their advantage, even though it was Spirit's pick. Before we go for a short break, what do you think what's going to happen on Cobble? That's pick from Ago, even though you said that Spirit plays Cobblestone. Do you think they have what it takes to take this to 1-1?
The one thing I forgot to mention is that the Ago team on their city side, they pick it up 3 ops. And before the time they pick it up 3 ops, they were losing rounds. So the thing is the Cobblestone is the map where you can play double op, but you cannot play 3 ops because of drop zone and everything. So I don't know how good their city side will be on the Cobblestone, but I think Spirit can make comeback on this map and win.
Yeah, the thing is they brought that 3 AWPs on overtime as well. When I was hitting my head, how are they holding with 3 AWPs?
B side, right?
B side, yeah. That was impressive to say the least. But Danny, before we go, short.
About Cobblestone, I think both teams are good on this map, but and they both have what it takes to win. So I think Ago, after making a huge comeback on Inferno, I think they're able to win on Cobblestone as well.
Yeah, you're currently right with your prediction. You said 2-0 Ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So one step forward, one step at a time. But yeah, we are finished with first map Inferno. As you saw, Ago taking that one in double overtime to secure first map. Second map is Cobble. We'll come back here in the studio after a short commercial break. Welcome back, ladies and gents. As I said, short commercial break, and we are back here in the studio for Farmskins Championship. 16 teams are fighting for that one slot for IEM Katowice, and so far only Pride got that W in first match against Valiance, and Ago are on the brick to get their 3 points in Group A, also together with me in studio, Danny and Hogar. So guys, we're moving to second map. Second map is Cobble, picked by Ago. Of course, sides decided by knife round. It's not like we talked about in the first match. I actually thought it was my mistake. I actually thought that teams who picks map, the other team picks side, usually how it goes, but it's fair to go for a knife round to choose a side. And now, do you think that maybe Ago winning in overtime, coming back from 12-3 to win it 22-19? To 19, do you think that they maybe have an edge over Spirit because they have that momentum right now of coming back and they are fired up for a second map, Danny?
I mean, yeah, they're approaching this match more confidently than on the previous map. I mean, I don't think we will be watching overtime once again. It's their pick, and they're good on it. Spirit is good on it as well, but I think Ago will take this one something like 16-10. Maybe it will be a close one. It's going to be a really tough one for Spirit, so definitely another interesting map to watch.
Howard, do you think that Tuao can continue his performance on Cobblestone as well?
The thing is, it's much harder to play on city side clutch rounds than on the Inferno. He had some good clutch rounds there, but the map provides that possibilities. But on the Cobblestone, when somebody enters your site, it's really hard to retake it. So I think depends. I think he played pretty well, but I think he cannot repeat that performance from previous map now. So I think it will be a close one.
Yeah, especially if they take B side. I think it's a lot harder to retake B than it's
almost impossible.
Yeah, to retake A. Depends, of course, on position of the players. If you have backstab, drop zone control, and or maybe it's possible, but usually it ends up in T's favor. But on the other hand, A side is kind of okay-ish to retake, but again, map as a map, it really depends on your team play and how you position yourself in post plant. So we are ready to go live soon. I want your predictions for the map. Danny?
I hope Ago will start as T side because they're much better on T side, and on City side they always struggle, so Ago winning this one.
Hogar?
I stay with Spirit. I mean, 16-10 for them.
Okay, we are ready to go live. Knife round is already live, and your casters for today, Dean and Dinko.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the second map of this best of 3 series between AGO and Team Spirit. And as you can see on your screen right now, AGO are going to be the team that come out victorious on that knife front. They will now get the decision about which side they want to begin on. I believe it was just mentioned on the desk that they'd like to see them start on the T side, and that is in fact their decision. So starting off as the desk would like to see them to put them in the best case scenario to try and just close this out 2-0. Of course, AGO in the end coming out victorious over an Inferno after a very, very close double overtime. And here we go, we will now be going live into this pistol. Sotvik going to be picking up a defuse kit and a smoke over on the terrorist side. It's Tao to actually go ahead and get himself some utility. The player who really showed up massively on Inferno to bring AGO over that finish line will be the one sacrificing the Kevlar to get a smoke and the flash, and it's a fast play from AGO right now. Fast towards his B-bomb site, straight down, drop straight out onto the B-bomb site. Now through the long platform, and right at the moment it's a bit of a retake being set up apparently by Team Spirit. Not something you see every single day. A B retake can be very, very difficult, especially with only these pistols. There's now multiple different avenues of attack. Oh my god, Coldy through the door just going to be spamming away. Finds PHR. That rhymes. That was very nice. But Furlan now he spots out a couple of players on the flank. He gets that info, and AGO now in a 4v5. I'd like to see them maybe push a bit more aggressively in towards connector to try and actually deny 1 point of attack to try and win out on those trades. And so far they're doing a pretty good job at doing so. Sumda Young is going to be the only one standing left for the CT side, and he's very low HP. He does have a defuse kit. He does have a smoke, and he may just be able to try and stick this. But Snatchy quickly wrapping around the short block, spamming away. Yet to find it, goes for the knife, and he does get it just in the nick of time.
I think that's pretty much how this game is going to go. AGO, they're here on Cobblestone. It's a map they're very good on. They beat Spirit on their pick. Obviously, Spirit's best map. And I would say I'm still standing by this. AGO's worst map that they actually play. So definitely an interesting one. I'm going to give it to AGO here. I think they're going to win this 2-0. Just for the reasoning behind Cobblestone. It's a good map for both, yes. But I feel like AGO are just going to have the edge here. Especially with plays like that coming through early on. It just shows the confidence they have. And the teams are going to be shaping up to go towards this B bomb site yet again. Furlan is going to be entry fragging for the side. Snatchy in second with the Mac 10s, and this is just going to be a bit of an awkward duel here. Spraying through with the Mac 10s, which has been dealt for the CTs, and still got a lot of utility to work with here, Dean.
Oh yeah, certainly, and a bit of damage being done early on towards Dima. We do see Furlan, of course, receiving a bit of damage back himself, but he'll be just looking to try and lead the way with this Mac 10, find out how many players are actually ready to try and hold this site, and never mind, he's doing a lot more than may have been required. He takes a quick double kill, Coldy trying to chime back in with that scout, but he's very low. Sophic finds a crucial frag though over towards the door, I believe that was, but it seems like it will still easily enough go back in favour of AGO as they put themselves up 2-0. Great performance once again early on in this half by AGO as they're looking to try and carry over that momentum from Inferno, and I'm thinking roughly 16-9, 16-10 in favour of AGO. I think they will take this map, they will close it out 2-0. What sort of scoreline are you thinking at the moment with the performance we've seen from both teams?
I'll give it 16-8. I'll go 16-8.
Okay, so you're thinking Spirit won't be as close as I was, but I like this from Team Spirit. They're going for a Polish strat actually. They're going for the VP lineup over towards middle.
AGO will know what's happening here for sure.
They'll be like, lads, they're robbing strats from VP. They'll be like, we know what they're doing now, we can counter them. I presume AGO have studied their Polish brethren quite closely, and yeah, even they, you see one player, oh my god, no, never mind, PHR was going to say, they see him just run straight through connector, and he's instantly looking towards mid, expecting that stack. He does actually get completely destroyed, but luckily enough, it's Tau, once again, the hero of the previous map, who ended up on 45 kills at the end, is going to be able to get himself a quick triple spray down. And it's all onto Sotfik as he claims himself on Mac 10, but will he be able to claim any kills with it? And he won't indeed, as Furlan just denies him with a quick headshot.
There we go, Tau opening things up yet again, the confidence coming through. If this man starts to go off on all cylinders again, it's going to be very bad news for Spirit. They're just going to absolutely storm into this one for sure. Hey Joe, they've got themselves 3 on the board. The AWP coming out early on. At least there's only 1, not 3 just yet. Snatchy going to be carrying that on board. And on the Spirit side, the AWP comes out on Davcost, who had a very good performance himself on Inferno. So let's see if he can continue his form in the Cobblestone. He'll need to step up if Spirit are wanting to win this one for sure. Although, AGO, they have the advantage of utility. They seem to be just trying to bail out some utility of Team Spirit so they can walk into that bomb site dry, as that's what was happening early on in Inferno, and it seemed to work out. But look at this position from Davcost, Dean. They're going to start strolling on in, and the flash comes through. Davcost lands the first shot, and that opens things up now for Spirit.
Yeah, really nice opening there. Davcost able to find the time, and that's what most operators will do. Once that flash pops, they'll wait maybe half a second, then take the shot, and it just works out perfectly there for Davcost as he takes down Furlan, puts that man advantage in favour of Team Spirit. And still working with very little utility though. AGO themselves have some smokes, have some molotovs to try and get into one of these bomb sites, and for now they haven't really made a decision about where they want to bring this. Instead, for the moment, 2 players just above drop looking to try and put some presence, trying to clear out the position below them, make sure that no one's playing up close. And I think we could see a split coming in towards the A bomb site right now, most likely, or maybe a bit of a fake being sold. See what damage can be done by these 2 over towards A. I guess we'll find out and see how successful they are actually finding these openings against the 3 players that are going to be actually waiting for them. And there we go, the bomb actually making its way back. So it will be an A hit. Davcost spots out the arm of Snatchy and manages to take himself that kill. SDY spots the shadow of Grubby towards middle. And some nice teamwork comes in as both of those players peek together, ensure that the headshot comes in. PHR eventually finds something for AGO, but he's now going to be the last man standing in a 1-on-4 as his position is known. 20 seconds remains and he doesn't have the bomb, and it's basically impossible, and indeed it is after Davcost shuts him down.
There we go. Davkost, he needs to wake up, as we said. He needs to be that sort of star player for Spirit if they won't even have a chance of taking down AGO. And he starts things off perfectly coming into the first gun round, finding 3 with the AWP. And very, very hard shots to hit as well. To remember, he was flashbanged and there was through, I believe, a smoke as well for that first shot. And then when he fell back, it was just a pixel of Furlan. He takes him down. And then finally through the door, I believe there was edge of smoke as well. So Davkost not hitting easy shots by any means and also picking up 3. That nade coming through will deal a bit of damage. Takes a little bit off the legs of Groovy, just 1 HP. And now, it is AGO now, trying to just go through their pacing, to make sure they go down the checklist, clear everything they need to check. And they go out towards long, everything's clear here. Everything's good, so now they can start to pressure out towards A long now. And this is where pressure can start to build up for Spirit. They've been playing a little bit more passive, which is good to see. AGO seemed to have the issue in the first half of Inferno where they went really aggressive on their CTs, and Spirit were able to get a good read of that. However, Spirit are playing really passive on their CT side right now.
1 HP, Snatchy, just about escaping the grip of death right there as he manages to remain alive with 1 single point of HP after the op shot connects to the corner of the wall. Not the start that AGO would have wanted, but they do begin to gain themselves that map control finally over towards middle, but it looks like they're going to just completely give it up instead, begin to hightail their way back over towards the B-bomb site, and right now Spirit may have a bit of a read on this. They have 3 players ready to try and hold this down. There is a 5th player up on the balcony, I believe, towards A, but actually he's gone over towards the A-bomb site instead, so it's going to be solely on these 3 players. No instant rotates are going to be available, and it's a good start as Sotvik finds the first Coldy, playing from this new little cubby that was added a couple of months ago, and he's able to get himself a quick double kill. Snatchy eventually managed to trade it out, even only that 1 point of HP, but now he's the last man standing. He is going to be left alone in a 1-on-3, a single point of HP to work with, and any sort of utility not really available for Spirit. Actually, I was going to say any sort of utility would be able to shut him down, such as a nade, but unless we see Davkost connecting that flash, I think it should be one of these weapons actually finishing this one off. The bomb plant just trying to come in. He at least gets the bomb plant. That's a positive. That's really the best he was going to get in that scenario.
Yeah, it's free cash. AGO, however, will go down and Spirit will pick up their 2nd consecutive round here, and perhaps my prediction was a little bit too lenient towards AGO, but you never know. I still have confidence in the boys that carry it through. They're looking very strong coming into the end of Inferno. However, Spirit seem to have good starts, and AGO, they are sort of a long team, so they like to go for those long drawn-out plays, and they're able to do so because they've had the mental fortitude they have. Spirit coming in this one will mentally reset. It's a good map for both teams, so perhaps my prediction was very lenient, but I was just going based off how AGO impressed me, especially Tao coming into that first map, so see how they go through their pacings. They're going to go towards the A-bomb site this time. B-bomb site, should I say. They went towards A last time. It didn't work out as well, so they were forced to go back towards B. Damage is huge coming in. That's exactly what they need, because it soaks up the players now. And allows Coldy to take down the first one, as they will start to flow into his crosshair. He's able to get 1. That was a whiff spray, but at least he has Dima there to shut down the rest. And his mistake goes unpunished. 3-3. Spirit even things up here.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be I think it may be a bit closer than we would have predicted. It seems like Spirit are definitely prepared coming into this map, but then again, in the last one, we also saw kind of one team would take control for a while, then it instantly go back in favor of the other, and you just never know what's happening. So I guess we will find out now, as we are going to see AGO finally back onto that full buy. They have themselves the full set of rifles. They don't have the op this time onto any of those players. With the rifles, they should still be able to get at least a decent job done, but that's not really the start they would have wanted. Snatchy, as he looks to jump back over towards the safety, he's actually getting tagged down through the door by the AWP, down to 18 points of HP. As now the terrorists, a fast play towards the B-bomb site, it seems. A flash goes in. Tao actually, I believe, got caught on the wall, so because of that, he will end up getting taken down by Dima, who's putting in a lot of work. He comes with a quick double. Groovy able to trade that back. Snatchy finds the rotator, takes down Sotvik, and now 3-on-3 as the terrorists have multiple different positions to attack this B-bomb site from. Right flash comes in, Coldy is going to be found, and Snatchy is beginning to ensure that his team may be able to take this round. But as I say, that Sumdai Young is going to be able to take one. The nade goes in, lots of damage onto Grubby, down to 65. Sumdai Young coming in from behind, finds the first, spots out the second, and it's all onto Furlan to try and win it out in a 1-on-2. Gets himself the first kill. One more player, and the bomb is down. It's beginning to tick away. Davkost, half HP. He has the kit, but he won't be able to stay alive. It's Furlan instead to find himself a quick headshot.
That was a beautiful shot coming in from Furlan there to close it out. And there we go. AGO back in the lead. Back on the winning path. And this is Spirit coming into this one with a bye. If they do lose this one, it's going to be a little bit disorientated, because they're going to be set back on that very weak economy. Likely see maybe a few pistols come out, a little bit of cash. So this is a very very crucial round for Spirit to win now. So AGO, what they are going to do is just got to go straight up aggression. Target their best player, Davkos, drop him down to 15 HP. And now things are starting to look up for AGO. They've got mid control. They want to start to pressure inside of danger here. That smoke will allow for that. Flashbang comes in as well. That allows Furlan to come in. The entry force. And they head their way out mid. Coming up, Groovy throws the flashbang over the wall, and it's becoming a bit of a cluster here inside of middle. Softic is in with the rotate, drops the bomb. That's huge. The bomb now in his clutches, down below the heaven position.
Yeah, and it looks like the trades will be going heavily in favor of the AGO side. Just as you handed it back to me, we did see 4 quick kills now going in favor of the Poles. It is going to be only Coldy that remains standing right now for the CT side to actually try and retake this bomb site. The bomb is, of course, yet to be planted. Snatchy, if he goes down, it could get dangerous, but he wins it out. He hits himself a very crisp headshot, and that is going to be AGO getting themselves back into a pretty commanding lead. 5-3 as the economy of Spirit is going to be broken.
That was insane. Just the flurry of kills. It was in a second I handed back to, and instantly there was 4 kills come through. Molotov and then Snatchy just finding 3. It was insane. AGO up to 5 rounds now and back on the weak buy. Spirit, no investment at all right now. Already. Be the Mac 10 here on Furlan. I'll try and crash grind some of these eco weapons. The weak opponents, they have no armor, so they're nice and squishy for him. Coming through, Tao finds the opening kill, sprays down another. Now this is where the push comes through. Tao, it's just a conveyor belt of kills, and it's Snatchy to find the last 2. 6-3 AGO, and they double the score of Spirit, and now lead the way.
I think now Tao and Snatchy, from what they've shown so far, are 2 players that could be looking to move up in the Polish scene pretty soon. I'd hope, at least by how well they've been performing today. It's not only their aim that's looking great, their fundamentals also. Their AGO themselves have been doing a great job of picking up trades, etc. As now with the buy coming out, apologies, I'll let you take it back now, but overall it's a pretty decent buy from AGO, but they decide to keep 1 Mac 10 onto Furlan, interestingly enough.
Yeah, the Furlan Mac 10 is mostly just like a bonus weapon. He wants to try and get some cash. And of course, they have the smokes on board. Coldy, first headshot comes through, does drop Furlan, and now Groovy is going to be up on board on the platform. Looking for some kills coming through. Dima up on top of the tree. And the sprays coming through. Coldy will try and pull one back, but Groovy and PH are landing shots. Back and forth they go, lining up a couple of kills here. Groovy lands another, but it's still a 2 versus 2. Still a chance for Spirit to get in on the bomb site here, and they've got Davkos alive. And of course, Some Die Young, the new addition, the new blood to the team. He's definitely not down and out of it just yet, but Groovy is holding a perfect angle, just a little bit more off to the right of the statue, using it as cover, has found the kill, and now Snatchy, the only other player that he has to find here. Some Die Young is landing the damage, but the flashbang's making it awkward. Drops down both players, both low HP. There goes the first kill. Some Die Young puts it into a 1 versus 1. Now Groovy left low, 10 HP, still grabs the headshot. That's the round. AGO 7-3. Insane plays coming through by Groovy.
This is such a close game. Every single round, when you think it's going to go one way, either the clutch comes out, and when you think the clutch is about to be successful, they clutch it right back out of their hands. This has been amazing so far, and I hope it continues on being this entertaining as AGO take themselves a very solid lead, 7-3, and because of that, Spirit decide to call for a tactical pause. I would presume they will be facing an eco, I believe, in this next round. And AGO now looking to try and increase it even further.
Yeah, it's, again, Spirit, the best I can hope for is a couple of CZs, perhaps even a P250 into the round, maybe a flashbang here and there, but there just looks as though they're going to go for the full eco, none of them buying up just yet. So AGO, this should be their 8th, and they can start to grind out that lead. And I'm pretty sure that Tao is going to have a good performance. Like, he's on 10 kills already, 10 and 7. Snatchy is leading the way. He had a great performance as well. 13-7 for him, but PHR a little bit quieter, 2 and 9, but he doesn't really need to frag when the rest of his teammates are going off and going ham here as well. So AGO, they're doing very well here at the start of Cobblestone. Again, this is how I predicted it to go. AGO start to walk away with it. It's one of their best maps, I would say. So it's definitely up there as their top 3, one of their top 3 maps. So AGO definitely surprising a few people coming out of the woodworks in the late 2017, and now into 2018 they're showing a lot of people, some of the younger talent within the Polish scene. Yeah,
for sure. AGO have been very solid lately, and they're continuing on right now as This scoreline not looking so good for Spirit, looking to increase even further in favour of AGO, as Spirit's still just trying to discuss, I presume, what they're going to do on both this round and on the upcoming gun round. To this one, I don't really think they'll be really investing too much. They will be getting themselves $3,400 rather, thanks to losing well in the follow, and they will have lost 5 in a row. So that means they get the full 3,400 loss bonus. For people who aren't aware, that actually goes up an extra $500 each time. It starts at 1,400, and for every run you lose, you'll get an extra 500. So 1,400, 1,900, and it continues to increase like that. Of course, 3,400 is the max. That's when it stops increasing. So right now they're working with that money bonus. They will maybe be able to get a small investment into this round, some pistols, maybe some Kevlar, and try and at least get some damage done, as of course AGO, as you can see on your screen right now, they haven't really built up that great of an economy, considering they're currently up 7-3 rather.
I would assume this is a technical pause, right? I mean, it's been extremely long to be a tactical
Maybe,
one.
yeah.
So no player really has high ping, no one's disconnected, so I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, the AGO, I suppose we can sort of... Oh, there we go. Never mind. Softic has hit the unpause, so it looks as though the issue has been resolved. But anyway, AGO, it'll be interesting to see them play in the ESL Pro League next year, see how many scalps they can take. They had a very good performance coming into MDL. Now getting back into the action. Spirit do invest a little bit here. They've got some Die Young buying the only set of armor on the side. The, of course, CZ around it. Smoke on Dima. A couple of other weapons around it as well. But it's mostly just likely to be AGO to storm into this one. But this double stack here towards A long could prove a little bit faithful for Tau if he walks right into that one.
Yeah, we don't really see AGO really having too much trouble. Has been able to close this round out quite easily. We should see them being able to shut them down, oh well, rather just overwhelm the defense with the sheer firepower that they currently have available to themselves. And you can see early on they're not really going to be taking any gambles. They're not going to be getting close to any of these angles, giving the Pistols a chance to find the openings. Instead, just sitting back, Snatchy with that up, especially just waiting to see if anyone gets a little bit adventurous over towards the middle position, goes for a peek to try and get info, and maybe would throw away their life, as right now the contact seems to be coming in towards the B long position, and it's actually Dima to find the opening. Nice 5-7 shot comes in as he takes down Furlan to put a 5 versus 4 advantage in favour of Spirit. And Davcost with some great aggressive pushes also.
Yeah, Davcost lands a good bit of damage there, and the man advantage being gained for Spirit, as you said. And now this is where things line up. Some Die Young picks up the AK, nearly gets the third. What was that shot? PHR is able to grab a one-tap. Coldy is dropped, and now it's Dima coming in with a flank. This is it. AGO about to crumble. A lineup for Dima. He sends them all home, and it's 4-7. Spirit, they answer back on the back of a force buy. One set of armor and a couple of pistols, and that's all you need to win around here.
Oh yeah, Spirit, when you least expect them to get themselves around, they managed to do it. AGO, you never know what one's going to show up in each round. It seems, I was saying earlier, it tends to change from game to game which one's going to show up, whether they're going to be amazing or if they're going to be kind of a little bit falling apart. But it seems like it kind of, at this point, it's just beginning to change round to round. But I guess that's better. That's a bit more consistent. It gives themselves a better chance to actually win these games. And they're still in a really solid position, of course, already up 7-4 on this T side. I would say Cobblestone maybe one of the few maps that has a slight bias towards that terrorist side, but you can still bring it back on the CT side, of course, if you have a very solid defense, which we have seen so far in this game. Both teams been able to just kind of bring it back and forward as Spirit into this round. They have a good amount of utility. They have the up onto Davcost also, finally, and of course, AGO have everything they require.
AGO have the good bit of utility still left. They've got 3 smokes, one on Snatchy. Groovy has one, of course, PHR, so they still have a lot of options. But Bomb is interestingly left towards B, and Davcost is taking names towards A, so this could be a bit of a mistake here unless they're really just relying on Groovy to take that bomb wherever it needs to go. So 53 seconds left. They've got definitely a lot of presence towards A here, and they've lost 1 player, so they really need to start considering their move here. Some Die Young is on the opposite end of the wall. Could get a bit frisky here. There's 2 players waiting on the opposite side of it. Snatchy, he's hungry for some kills, but the smoke execute is getting set up, and this position from Some Die Young could end up being lethal. He's in the corner. Davcost hit the first. Some Die Young with the second, and we're into a 2 versus 5. It's an absolute shutdown here. Team Spirit have dispensed with AGO, and Tau is able to pick up at least a consolation kill, but through the smoke, Some Die Young will add salt to the wound. And there goes Dima, closing it out. And 7-5, only 1 player drops for Spirit, and that's Davcost, who already found 2. And that was a very good round to win, very clean.
Yeah, perfectly that they're able to win that, and on the back of winning an eco in the previous one, they have lots of bank Looking very, very rich at the moment. Well, compared to at least what AGO have available, who have, interestingly enough, gone for a force buy in this round. I was expecting an eco to come in, but it seems like they're happy enough with going for the pistols only and getting that utility rather. And maybe they have a bit of an execute planned. They will be going for a bit of a faster paced round, it seems, and that's going to be Tao to actually open it up as he takes down Sotvik in towards the connector, and it's going to be back towards A now as they look to try and overwhelm the defense coming in from multiple different avenues, multiple different angles of attack rather. And Furlan should eventually be able to trade this one. Eventually does manage to tap away, take down Davkos. Tao chimes in with yet another. Tao, who I would say at the moment has been the superstar so far in this series for the AGO side, is really putting in work once again, as it's all on to Dima and Coldy now to try and claim this retake for themselves. And Tao, his barrel is spotted out. Great bait by Dima as he jumps over the scope and manages to take him down.
Yeah, Tao, if he had hit that one, that would have been ridiculous, but it's a 9 into 2 versus 2. Dima has got himself down inside of the site. That's the first headshot. Second comes in, and again, Spirit, they answer back. AGO, they come so close, but unnecessary peaks, I would say. And that will now be 7-6. An unavoidable first kill, but the second perhaps could have been played a little bit better. And Team Spirit, they get themselves their 6th from the board. And now starting to look pretty good. They're starting to string a bit of economy together, and Dima started to wake up, and he's got 14 kills on board.
Yeah, 6-7. This is a really good half right now from Spirit. I think even if they lost out these final 2 rounds, they'd be fairly happy, but that's pretty unlikely with AGO coming into this with a similar buy to the previous round. Not quite as solid, but they leave themselves a lot of economy so they can get the full buy into the following. But yeah, we should see Spirit being able to equalise the scoreline here, I would presume, unless the Pistols pull off a bit of a miracle for the AGO side. As a bit of a fast play once again.
AGO.
Yeah, you never know. AGO, you never know. But yeah, you can go with you never know with AGO. We can work either way, I guess.
Yeah, we can use both.
Yeah, we can use both. It can be two slightly different slogans, I guess. But yeah, it looks like AGO this time are going to instead put their focus towards the B-bomb site. They're going to try and just execute straight onto this position. But the Molotovs from the CT set right now is going to be delaying them. Coldy with a great spray down. Quick hat-trick. Swaps to the CZ looking to try and get more as he he actually does take himself that quad thanks to the support of Dima.
Filling away the ace as well there. He's going to be a bit salty with his teammate. Gets 4 though. 7-7. Last round of the half. This round decides who takes it, of course. AGO will be looking to do so because, like it was pointed out in the analyst decks, AGO's T side is quite a dominant force. It's a force to be reckoned with. And they have somewhat been neutralized by Spirit here. They've evened the score, and it's a lot closer than I expected. That is for sure. I predicted 16-8, and it's definitely going to be much closer than that. Oh, the timing. Davkos gets unscopes just at the wrong time. Tao takes him down, and Snatchy, he's going to be searching for that kill towards the platform himself.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if Coldy gets a bit over-aggressive and decides to go for a peek, and with a flash he may do so. Great flick by Snatchy. Once again, finds that open and doing a great job. It is now just going to be 3 players that remain for the Team Spirit side. Let's see if they're going to be able to successful in their attempt. If they're going to be able to be successful in their attempt to try and bring this round back in their own favour. But it's not looking likely, especially with Tao managing to find that player creeping into the smoke. He jumps up, spots one more player in A, and now these 4 can just commit into B. They know there's only 1 player on this bomb site at most. They just need to trade it out successfully, and they will be able to do so as Grubby manages to successfully pick up the trade. It's all on to Sumda Young. Straight through the door, Snatchy with the up. He hits that shot. He does not miss those, and AGO end up managing to win that half out just by 1 round, 8-7, as close as it could possibly be.
Yeah, it's 7 is much closer than I expected, that's for sure. I mean, Snatchy and Tao, they pick up 2. There's been sort of 2 superstars on both sides. You got Snatchy and Tao chiming in on that AGO side. Over on the Spirit side, it's mostly Dima and Coldy. Davkos chiming in there as well. I think some Da Young had some great performances towards that A-bomb site, so really everyone in Spirit's doing a good job. PHR a little bit quiet there on AGO, setting 4 kills and 13 deaths, but you never kind of player like him out. He can always step up whenever he is needed. And now it's coming into the pistol. This one's really anyone's round right now. Whoever picks this up, it's still not out of it at all. So AGO will be looking to extend upon their lead. Spirit obviously want to pick this up so they can even out the odds, but it's really anyone's round right now. Tao has invested in a kit and a smoke. A lot of utility picked up by Spirit, so mostly going to be an execute under the B-bomb site likely here, Dean.
Yeah, for sure, and it's actually a fairly passive setup coming in by AGO. They're actually playing pretty passive back towards the rock and drop room, I believe, having also 2 players in connector for the fast rotate. So they're playing a retake setup, but they're playing it so as where they can at least slightly try and contest, maybe get a kill or 2 before the bomb actually does go down, ensuring that they have enough players to pick them off or at least do damage as they begin to cross onto the bomb site. But for now, Spirit aren't going to be yet committing. They still have 1 minute and 15 seconds left. They're not really in a rush. There's nothing really forcing them to make a move quite yet. They still have that time to work with. And it looks like it will be towards the B-bomb site eventually, as now we see some utility being thrown in. Smokes, and there's also still flashes to play with.
Flashbangs, the smokes have been deployed, and here comes the push. Team Spirit, they waited a little bit, trying to make a bit of a mind game on the AGO side. Again, seems to be letting them take B, so complete repeat of what we've seen in the first pistol round. This time, Sumda Young has found the opening kill for the T side. A second comes through by Dima as he takes Tau, and that is going to be a player you don't want to be losing early on here by AGO. And now we're into a 5 versus 3. The retake, no kit on board. They've got 3 sets of armor, no utility, but they've got Furlan, and he's the best bit of utility you can use. Finds a headshot. PHR able to back him up with another, and there goes Coldy taking a headshot, dispensing with Snatchy. So this is becoming a big issue here. PHR has to step up. He's found one, flicks for the second, but the time is ticking dangerously. No kit, and it's just going to be Spirit stealing away this pistol. Became so close, but this is a good round to save though, because PHR has a kit, a smoke, and a set of armor to save.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It also denies that extra $300 over towards the Spirit side, and now with the scoreline equalised 8-8, it's as close as it could literally be. It is just... they're completely even right now, the showings we've seen, but Spirit in a better position right now to actually go ahead and claim that lead, as we see AGO are going to have to be working with a bit of a force buy. It won't be what they want, what they would want. It's going to be a little bit weaker, mostly pistols, a bit of utility also to work with, and Snatchy wants to make sure he gets that op out in the first round, I believe, so he's actually not really going to invest at all into this one.
Yeah, it's a good decision. When you get a Snatchy on the op early on, that's going to be a little bit of a... especially on the CT side of Cobblestone, it's going to be a decimating attribute to your side. That nade was huge. Does damage to 3 people. They've been using their nades very well here. AGO, Dima, and Sumda Young pick up 2 kills early on, and now the flank coming in. Tau, could this be huge? Finds the first, goes for the second, but his position... oh my god, Tau, right through the door. And there it goes, another Tau, oh my goodness, picks up 3, Deagle, God plays coming through. There we go, that's the catchphrase coming in yet again. This really should start to catch on soon, I think, Dean.
Oh, definitely, a better. We
get
the endless
printed off.
used it. Oh yeah, that's definitely a merchandising opportunity for AGO if they want to go ahead and capitalize on that. We'll only take 10% of all royalty each, so you'll still get 80%. Don't worry, AGO. But yeah, it is going to be now AGO with the better buy. Rather, they've managed to get that upset, and now Spirit are only going to be working with pistols. They have Deagles, they have a CZ and a P250, and they have at least a bit of utility to work with in the process.
Again, Snatchy going for the MP7. Not exactly my particular favourite weapon. Seems to do okay with it, though. So he's going to push towards A long, gets spotted out, so now he has to fall back. That smoke will shield him off a little bit, acts as a wall. Perhaps even a force field at this point, because they're all backing off away from it. Snatchy, he's inside of the stairs. He's going to be looking for some kills. Now his teammates have arrived. It's Tau and his teammate in force. That smoke going to come out towards the door, and HR throwing a nade on in, does a bit of damage to Softic. Makes him a little bit softer, I suppose. And there we go, some more cheesy catchphrases here for you, Dean.
Oh yeah, more. I'm going to make that my thing. I'll add that in my bio, the cheesiest caster. But here we go. We see the CT has now been able to get that open and kill, but traded back instantly by Davcost. PHR now needs to be careful not to hand this M4 over. That's when it could get extremely dangerous for AGO if they were to give away a rifle really for those T-side to work with. But at least a lot of damage is done. AGO right now are still in a very solid position working with the full set of rifles. But as I say that, Sumda Young able to find the first. PHR, he has the high ground. He is just going to be raining down bullets from the A-bomb site. It's down from the A-bomb site itself down towards the water position rather. And he's just remaining alive for the moment. If he can find at least 1 more kill, that should be ideal. But I'd say he may be able to do even more. But SDY, Sumda Young once again with the Deagle, finding the openings. He gets himself yet another. And now it's all on to Furlan to try and clutch it out. Coming out of the little hut room is going to be taking a lot of damage. Down to 28 to try and clutch this 1 versus 2. The nade goes in, but it's not going to do enough damage. And Davcost finds the final kill.
This is shaping up to be a brilliant game. 9-9. Everything is even here yet again. And AGO, look at their economy. They're dashed for it. They're back on the Eagles. Proficient players on them, obviously. Tau showed us a little bit of brilliance there. But it's Spirit on the AKs, the Galils, and the M4 with the utility on board. I'm starting to favour them into this one. They're likely to go 10-9 here. And with the investment from AGO, it's definitely going to be Spirit. If they pick up this one, running away with a few more.
Oh yeah, for sure, but AGO, you never know once again. So we need the Spirit definitely need to be cautious of these pistols, especially on the CT side of Cobble. There's so many different close range positions that they can be playing in, as well as that Nova, which I don't think they're aware at the moment is out. This could be playing up close on an angle. That shotgun can really get a lot of damage connected, as can PHR with that UMP. So let's see if Spirit are finally going to be able to capitalize on this round. See if they'll be able to chain a couple together, or will we continue going back and forth like a yo-yo? Let's find out soon. Snatchy up close to the doors on mid, has repositioned himself. Well, he has repositioned himself, rather. He's going to be waiting to see if any terrorists decide to come in his direction. And at the moment, there is a couple of them favouring that side of the map for sure. There is 3 players in this position, as some damage is being connected over on B long. They're actually going to begin to send the other 2 back up to join with them. And it seems like we should be seeing an A-bomb site hit coming in. That's going to be just up to Snatchy now to try and hold this for the moment. No real rotates in position to try and support him.
None at all, and here goes Snatchy. Not going to amount to much. That Nova falls to his feet. And already we have AGO on the back foot into round at number 19. And some Young pushing through middle, with Coldy really gathering up with Sotvik as they want to get over towards that A-bomb site. Now, Dima has been that sort of lurking presence. He's going to throw a smoke over towards the door. And now Tau is in behind the wall. The Deagle in hand. SDY finds the opening. Kill with Tau again. Another Deagle shot. Can he find more? A 3k from Tau, but he has it all to do now. He has the ace here, and he's getting damaged by that Galil, and it will be 10-9. But Tau keeps blowing my mind here.
This man's a god. Why is he not on VP? That's all you can ask. VP in such a massive slump. There's clearly a lot of talent out there that they can pick up, such as Mihu. Tau seems to be emerging as well. If they wanted an upper, Snatchy can clearly get the job done. And I'm expecting the Polish scene to really have a resurgence soon, especially with the amount of teams that are just coming up recently. There's so many solid young talents that can really be moulded, especially if they get the chance to play with players that have such experience and such veterancy within the scene.
Yeah, I mean, we also have Innocent, who's playing on Mouse Sports at the minute. Not Mouse Sports. Yeah, it is Mouse. No, it's not. What team was it?
Seed.
Actually, I've complete.
Oh, Sprout now.
Sprout. Yeah, so confused. Yeah, Sprout. I got mixed up a little bit there. Samdai Young grabbing a headshot. Furlan now dropped into 2 versus 5. And Samdai Young, again, mauling them with the Mac-10, grinding out the cash. And now it's Tau, but he's got a Deagle, so you never know. AGO. And there he goes. Coldy goes and gets Tau down. 11-9. Spirit on board here. And yeah, as I said, you got Innocent, who's even on Sprites. You got so many young Polish talents spread out across so many different teams. I feel like also on the CIS region, that's a huge issue. You got so many good CIS players, and they're all spread out against around different teams. Why not just put them into one roster and make some god-tier team from that region? I think it would make a lot more sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. But now let's see if AGO are finally going to be able to get themselves back into this. They are going to be working with a bit of a better buy than the Spirit side. You can see they decided to keep over a Galil. Sotvik didn't want to upgrade himself, but overall still more utility also available for Spirit, and right now they definitely have the momentum in their favour with an 11-9 scoreline, being able to chain a couple of rounds together, 3 now at this point. AGO only managing to claim 1 so far on the CT side, and with their economy getting instantly reset afterwards, we've seen them working with a bit of a weaker buy up until this point.
Yeah, I mean, AGO being quite dynamic in their CT setups, finding opening shots, and Tau, even on the weak rounds, has been able to find a hell of a lot of damage. So to be able to grind out a little bit of cash. And there goes Groovy finding the opening kill. Samdai Young gets his head ripped off from Dropper. And now that does open things up. AGO with the man advantage, and now the players from the T side, Spirit, will be trying to go towards a long. The bomb is still outside of mid, in the hands of Sotvik, so he's a little bit undecided on what he wants to do here. So perhaps he got info. There's a bit of presence towards A. Let's go towards B. 2 players heading that way, with the rest of the players from A now making their way back, and they execute surely to come in shortly.
Yeah, and finally AGO have something to work with now. The 5-on-4, they will be just going for a fairly standard setup. 3 towards B, 2 over on the A-bomb site, and right now it's the terrorists committing straight onto B. Tau once again getting some work done, has the support of Furlan as he completely shuts this down. He eventually falls to Dav cost, but he's done his job allowing Furlan to close that one out. So AGO finally claiming themselves double digits.
That was a shutdown and a half right there. Tau was able to get 2, Furlan another 2, so it's just an amazing plays coming in. Just the dynamics of the AGO side. The crossfires are working out perfect. The bait and switch plays are working. Just the multiple kills coming through, and AGO, they've got themselves into double digits, as you said. Although Spirit still lead, and this is their chance to extend upon it. They've got the AKs, they've got the utility. They do go down to this one. It's going to be AGO back up to 11-11. Who knows what can happen then. So they are going to go straight towards this B site fully. No one towards A at all. And this is something that we're doing on Inferno Din. You actually pointed out you enjoyed it. just the style where you just go straight into a site and just play this aggressive style. And they are going to be doing so here on B as the smokes, the flashes, they come in, and it's going to make it even more difficult for AGO to find the frags.
Yeah, still no real kills have come in, just damage has been exchanged back and forth so far. Dima eventually finds a single kill there, but trade comes instantly back in by Groovy. PHR also able to find one. Sumdai Young chimed in to put us into a 3-on-3, and right now it's looking to be in favor of the CT side, and especially with Groovy able to take himself that headshot, getting some real damage done. Coldy's now going to be the last man standing in a 1-on-2 to try and clutch this one out.
He's on his own. That's all to do. The bomb inside of the site as well. It's going to make it even more difficult, and Snatchy has an inkling to where he may be. There's only a couple of options, so you might as well just limit them. Now he's inside of Dropper, and already Groovy spots him out. Can he secure the kill, and he will do so. That's 4 kills for Groovy into the round. Single-handedly destroys the push from Spirit, and that's that last one of the one taps, his 3rd kill, I believe. That one tap was just filthy. Like, that one tap off towards the platform is beautiful.
Yeah, scoreline equalised once again, and this has been just such a back and forth game so far. Spirit not really going to have too much economy into this one, so a very minimal investment. They get themselves just a couple of pistols, no Kevlar at all, just a couple of flashes also into the hands of Sotfik, as they will be looking to maybe just try and get a couple of kills, do some damage, and retrieve a weapon if possible, cause ensure that AGO are going to have to go for some reinvestment in the following round so that they can't build up a solid bank late into this half, and let's see if they're going to be successful at doing so. Holy, he's going to be leading the way at the moment, and actually it's Demon to open it up, but it seems to be going back in favor of AGO, as you would expect.
AGO, first headshot comes in. It's for Lan again. Got a second as well. That's on the Tau. The 2 Storm Star players on the side, and Dav Cost has got himself the CZ. Kicks for Lan, pulls out his reload, and Tau's there. The Menace will take himself another kill. And meanwhile, we're in a situation where it makes it difficult for Spirit, because that bomb is in an unretrievable position right now. Snatchy close inside of the window will miss the shot, but Tau won't miss his. And now Sumdai Young stuck inside, still hits the headshot somehow, but will go down to PHR, and it will be 12-11. AGO, they take the lead, but Spirit do have the cash now. They can still buy.
This game has been insane in terms of the type of kills that have actually been coming in. That jumping one tap by SDY, Sumdai Young just really kind of pays homage to it. It really shows you what sort of game this has been so far. But yeah, AGO now, they've taken the lead back for themselves, and they are now going to be rocking a double up setup. Snatchy and Furlan will be the players that are trying to utilise those, but it's Davkos to win the up battle up against Snatchy and put that man advantage in favour of Team Spirit. And now down by 1 man on the back foot, AGO. Will they try and maybe go for some more aggression to bring this back in their own favour? But yeah, they do indeed do so. Furlan goes for 1, he's able to take that, but luckily for them, Spirit were in a solid setup. They were able to ensure that they picked up the trade.
Some advantage for Spirit. They're looking to try and extend upon it if possible. They're going to be heading towards that platform where Groovy lies in with. He's got himself 3 flashbangs and a smoke, hasn't used any of it just yet. It will likely be used for his retreat because he doesn't have anyone there to help him out. There we go. It's going to be Davkos taking Groovy down. Dima will take the 2nd kill. PHR, that opens A up, and now it's all on Tau. He's played some insane clutches so far, but I even think this is too much to ask from him. Oh my goodness, perhaps not. Hits a shot. The timing's perfect. Takes Dima through the smoke. And now that is going to be the bomb plant done. And likely Tau just to try and save that up.
Yeah, so Spirit once again coming straight back into it, keeping it as close as it could possibly be. Of course, we are going to be going 12-12, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is another game where we may see even a double overtime, maybe even more, because it's just so back and forth at the moment. Both teams looking almost as even as it could possibly be.
Yeah, it's been back and forth, as you said, like a yo-yo. I mean, neither team really looking too convincing. Both teams playing obviously insane individually, but neither team really getting that sort of grasp of the game, not really been able to grab it and really control the game themselves. So it's been back and forth. It makes for an interesting one, and we're again even 12-12. This kind of means no team is really able to get a really strong economy that's difficult to break. You can see already AGO, after winning a couple of rounds, still no cash to work with. They only got that up on Tau, and on that T side, Spirit, they have a bit more cash to work with here. They've got to get a full buyout, but not too much left in the reserves after that.
Yeah, it's a pretty a very weak buy, I guess, is what you could say for AGO right now. They only really have that one rifle, and that's the up in the hands of Tau. Not the player you usually see on this weapon, but it definitely seems like he can get a lot of damage done with. He not only seems to be their best player, but from what I've seen, especially when he utilised that Inferno for those few rounds in a row, every single time he was getting that opening kill. So he may even be their best op player. Who knows? He can do it all. He is a man of all. Of many talents, apparently, as right now Tau goes for that opening kill, but he's not going to be able to connect the shot. Backs off to reposition himself to try and find that over towards Long instead, and leaves his teammate on mid, and a great pop flash comes in. Tau now has them pinned in this corner, but a flash in return may be enough to blind them up and force them back off the angle once again.
Tau, though, he's in a perfect position if he wants to find some kills here. Not so much to fall back. He's in a bit of a one and done since he's on that left side of the wall. And now Snatchy is close with the 5-7. And these pistols, not too bad themselves, as Groovy has got himself a very cool position in behind the players now. Snatchy, he comes through, Groovy and Tau go down. That's the Molotov, burning away the op player. Snatchy picks up one now, falls back safely up towards the A-bomb site. PHR salvage the op. And this is where things get a little bit messy. Spraying through, Sotfik lands damage, but not the kill. And now still a 4 versus 3 is on the cards.
Yeah, that's not too bad. At least managing to take down a couple of players on mid, rather one player at least. They may be able to retrieve that weapon. The op, of course, was available. PHR, I believe, has picked that up already. So getting themselves a couple of weapons. If they don't really want to go for this B retake, they could maybe even just go ahead and save these if that was what they would fancy. Get themselves a solid buy in the following round for sure with extra utility. But here we go. It will now be the... He's making their way towards the B-bomb site. PHR with that off, not really able to find anything early on. He gets spammed through the smoke down to 9 HP. And I think that should be a Spirit should be taking this round unless a miracle is pulled off by one of these AGO players. And it could be the player on the flank. As I say that, Snatchy comes in. Gets himself one, as does PHR. But Coldy, he comes back in with one of his own. Furlan trades it once again and running low on ammo now. It's getting very dangerous. 8 bullets in this USP. Davcost on 75 points of health rather, and Furlan finds it. He doesn't have a defuse kit, but he does have the time, and AGO somehow bring themselves back into this. It is going to be AGO that claim the lead once again, and the economy of the Team Spirit side is looking very, very broken.
AGO. They were in this situation just a couple of rounds ago, and now suddenly have pulled it back. 13-12, they take the lead again. But how long will they stay in the lead? That is the question. Of course, we're going to see Spirit salvage something into the round. They got themselves 3 AKs, a UMP, and a CZ. Bit of utility here and there as well, and head armor, so it's not such a bad buy after all. And of course, Groovy has a FAMAS on board, so not exactly the top buy AGO could have wanted, but definitely a solid one. And already aggression straight away. Spirit going right towards that B-bomb site. No presence towards A. They've just been avoiding Tau at all costs at this point. So he's in B now. Trying to find some kills. Has been deprived of a few as they have been avoiding him. As Groovy will line up a double. And that will be Dima and Coldy going down. Tau swings out. There's the kill he wants. But Sotfik makes quick work of him. Now leaving it into a 2 versus 4. But Sotfik pulls it back. Again, another kill his way. And now into a 2 versus 3. This is where things start to get a little bit messy now. It is going to be Team Spirit trying to get over towards that bomb site, but AGO, they're not having any of it. They're going to boost them up, but this is a good idea, but Groovy spots it. He's in a perfect position. Now knows the other player's there because of the boost, and now Davcost has to take the headshots. He has to clutch it out. Still another 2 players to find as he finds one on the PHR, but this still looks very difficult for Davcost at this point. Dean.
Bogdan. Yeah, they went with the law of Bogdan. They're going to drop the up over to the low HP player instead, so if you're watching this deal, Bogdan still taunting you every time you watch a CS game, I guess. But yeah, Davcost, he's still a winnable situation. He has a bit of time to work with 35 seconds. He's looking to try and maybe just force a 1 versus 1, but eventually he has just decided to stick this bomb plant instead, get it down. Some nice damage done onto Groovy as he takes him down to only 2 points of HP. And now it's winnable for Davcost. Groovy, let's see what he's going to be able to get done with the support of Snatchy, who also has a smoke and a flash available. No defuse kit, but there is one on the ground that just right in front of him that he should be able to retrieve, I do believe. And no, he's bypassed now. Okay, he gets a different one, I believe. Somehow managed to pick it up, I believe, actually. As now smoke goes down, Groovy up close to the platform, gets the no-scope. And that's a nice clutch here coming in by AGO. Get themselves 14-12. And the economy of Spirit now, I think they will be facing an eco.
Groovy picking up 4 kills with an AWP, 4 kills in total in that round. Obviously, the Bogdan theory gets thrown over the AWP. It's thrown back, though, over to Snatchy. And now 14-12, AGO, they string 2 together. And will now be only 2 rounds away from closing out this entire best of 3 series. They have the op on Snatchy. Interesting, they've been sticking with that singular op setup here, and this is probably the best decision since they know they're going up against Spirit's pistols. Pistols are known for getting up close and personal with AWP players, so having 3 of them is not exactly going to work out against these sort of buys. So Tao, he'll use his much better weapon in these situations, the M4, to find the opening. And now into a 5 versus 4. With the T side pretty spread out across the map, it should just be easy pickings. But Davkos, he's going to try and make it difficult. He's going to take Snatchy. That's a beautiful headshot. Now picks up the AWP, and that's a weapon he's proficient with, Dean.
Oh yeah, for sure. Not too bad of a position right now for the Spirit side. They are still down by 1 man, of course, but with that op retrieved, as you mentioned, they could still get a lot of damage done. Davkos could really be very impactful in this round. And of course, the other 2 players do have pistols and Kevlar to work with. 1 minute still for Spirit. They aren't really in too much of a rush. They're not going to be forced towards either bomb site yet. They have the time to try and actually get a read on the CT side defense. But as I say, that Furlan finds Davkos with ease. He didn't have Kevlar. Aim punch was a factor. That FAMAS is just cleaning up over towards middle, and it's now just Sumdai Young that remains. And he's going to be in a 1-on-4.
Yeah, PHR spreading through, takes down Sumdai Young, and there we go. Map and series point here for the AGO side. And Spirit, this is where the pressure lies. If they lose this one, it's all over. They have 3 to find in this one if they want to go to overtime. And overtime on 2 maps, that would be. And of course, the AWP comes out on Davkos, not much utility on his end. They've got a smoke on him, so that is at least something. They've got 5 smokes to work with, so an execute still could be on the cards. And they're going for a bit more of a standard default play here. So they have 1 player out towards middle, that's going to be Coldy, making sure no pushes come through. He'll be backed up by Sotfik, and the rest of the players towards the B side of the map and try and find some openings. Now, Tao, he has, of course, the smoke grenades, so he's got to be throwing that on over, preventing Davkos from getting an aggressive angle with the AWP. So you can see he's now forced back, and aggression has, and the platform control has been taken, but Dima has headshotted Tao, and that pretty much reverts everything I just said.
Yeah, very, very crucial opening frag there for Team Spirit to pick up, and that gives them a good chance now to try and actually take this round and keep themselves alive for the moment. Of course, only 3 needed in a row to force overtime. We've seen it happen in the past. We have seen comebacks of this level. That's not a lot of rounds by any means. Picking up 3 rounds in a row is fairly easily, especially if you can break the economy of the other team. But for now, they continue to hold with this advantage. There's no real rush for them to go anywhere. They are just going to wait and see if any mistakes are made by the AGO side and any more kills are handed away, as it is going to be PHR to actually find 1 kill. The bomb beginning to make its way back over towards the B-bomb site, as now it is going to be AGO to try and hold against... Well, for the moment, it's only going to be holding against 2 terrorists. The other 2 are just so cut off, and no possibilities for trades at the moment. Furlan able to take the first kill. AGO on a 4-on-3 now, looking likely to be able to close this out as Groovy takes 1. The nade comes down on top of Furlan, but it's not going to be enough. And that is going to be Groovy with a quick triple to close that one out. 16-12 for AGO, and they take the series 2-0. We will now send you back to the analyst desk.
Goodbye.
And that's it, ladies and gents. Ego managing to win against Spirit 2-0 in this best of 3 and take that W on Cobblestone as we saw right now. Amazing display of skill from Ego on this map. Definitely after that 8 to 7 half, I actually thought that maybe Spirit will come back on their T side and that Ego will have problems on City, but seems like that's not the case, and Ego can play that City side almost perfectly and close it out. So Danny, talk us through what happened for Spirit and how they kind of stopped after that first half on Cobble.
Well, I mean, they had some problems here and there in the first half when they played on City side. Ago had some amazing rotations from B towards A. Some in 2 maybe rounds they got stopped in the middle, and we remember Twao showing us once again a great performance like on the last map on Inferno. He had some really great kills with Deagle, 3 headshots somewhere in the middle, and I mean, in the other hand,